Gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to the first debate between Jon Zherka and Michael Sartain about the flat Earth and more, probably.
Yeah.
This has been a long time in the making. You hit me up about, 2 months ago and saying that you wanted to do this with Jon. Jon, let me just establish a few things here first. You are a proponent of the flat Earth theories, correct?
Yes, but I'd say firmament because flat Earth implies flat Earth society bullshit, which it's the disk flying through space. None of that garbage.
So it's interesting because a lot of the things where I went and looked at the stuff you were saying and then asked a bunch of flat earthers about it, and they had some things.
It's going to take the counter position.
Yes.
In all of this.
I mean, it's standard physics position.
As civil a debate and as rational a debate. Of course, I wouldn't be a participant in this if it were anything else.
Yeah.
But so here's the thing that gets me before we start here.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're on year 4. Okay, just so we're how to establish things. This is a big deal on YouTube.
Yes.
Okay. You send me a bunch of links. I've looked at the stuff that you've talked about. I think you had a debate with Destiny about this at one point.
My first 40,000 followers I gained was beating Destiny in a flat Earth debate because he's the smartest guy on the internet. And I even said, I'll handicap myself. I'll choose a retard topic like flat Earth. But it was bait. It was bait because that's not handicap. That's the only thing I ever studied. But it's interesting to me because nobody understands hollow Earth, triangle Earth. None of those are popular. The most searched topic in YouTube history is flat Earth.
Yeah.
Because above and beyond like the moon landing.
Way above.
Yeah, it's a lot more. Yeah.
It's number one in digital history.
But the reason why isn't because everyone thinks the Earth is flat. A lot of people are still confused how other people still think the Earth is flat.
No.
Hold on. Okay, so here's the way I'm approaching this, and so I've seen other debates, and they're kind of half-assed, and they're not and have no production value. There's no real debate. There's no real talk about it. So the way I would like to run this is I'm just pretend I'm aware of what's going on, but pretend that I'm sort of the noob here, sort of the in-between. I'm moderating this, and I'm confused. And the reason why I'm confused is because this is a topic that I'm quite honestly, I think should have been settled like way back when Copernicus or Galileo was around.
Galileo.
Yeah.
So
I got an answer for that.
I am. So you just.
But wait, these are two different things. Geocentrism and flat Earth are two different things.
Well, we're going to explain all that to you guys here because I have yet to see a comprehensive video. It's usually just this back and forth bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? I've yet to see a comprehensive video where we actually talk about like what's going on here. Because to me, it's like, I can't even believe this is a topic, much less the most popular topic.
Actually, I have a view on that he's going to agree with. I have a debate I did for 3.5 hours with flat earthers, and if you search my name and flat earth, it doesn't even pull up.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of these things where if it is an accredited source, the flat earth stuff pops up. If it is not, like your thing with Witsit, couldn't find it anywhere. It was literally Flat Earth Dave.
How did you find it?
Dave Weiss, Flat Earth Dave sent it to me. Could not find it anywhere. I knew that you had done another debate.
We humiliated those globe cards. Yes,
I got to be honest with you, you did. Like they didn't because they weren't prepared. Because some of the things,
but it's just so obvious. It's round. How you don't have to prepare. It's so obvious.
So this is great. I'll enroll. What? Yeah.
Just before we get started here, because we'll do pro con. Time. I'm going to moderate the time. Really going to moderate the time this time. But I wanted to say that the reason why we're doing this is because we want to actually just settle the debate, but like also to have a comprehensive, like a real down to earth talk about this, rather than just this back and forth bullshit, which is just like red meat. I want to actually say why is this even a topic at this point? So before we get started, introduce yourself.
I'm Michael Sartain. I am a former U.S. Air Force officer. I flew special ops for 5 years. I have 700 hours in a KC-135 Stratotanker, and I did counterintelligence for the last 2 years. And before that, I used to manage a strip club, and now I host a bunch of bikini competitions. And my co-host on and your co-host on Access Vegas, and I'm the coach of Man of Action Mentor.
And you have a background in astrophysics.
Yeah, so I studied astronomy, so I don't have a minor in astrophysics. What happened was I have a major in the business school at UT Austin. They will not allow a natural science minor, even though I have upper division astronomy courses. They wouldn't let me do it. But I studied astronomy for that, and then the next 15 years I studied astronomy.
Jon Zherka, give us your pedigree.
Same thing. I'm from the strip club, but I was a med club security guy, dirty clubs. And since I needed money, my city was so expensive. I worked 7 nights a week, bunch of cocaine to stay up at all sorts of clubs, dirty clubs. So one champagne lounge that was nice, but most of them was like people who pull knives and stuff. I just fought people on the street and uploaded the fights on only the times I won. I upload those on my Instagram. That got permanently banned for violence when I went on a dating show. I went viral. And now I just, I guess what I'm known for this week or this month is I converted 1,400 of the youth into Christians, and that's what I do. And I want to make clear, you can even find me on the internet a couple of years ago. I always thought, I respected religion as traditional stuff, but I always thought it was gay and hocus pocus and fairy tale. So when I was a flat earther for years, it was because of the scientific method, not because of religion. But now, and I defended it like my religion.
Scientific method. Now, before we, one last thing. What is it about the flat earth theory? I presume I'm using the right terminology. Yeah, flat earth theory. What is it about flat earth theory that made sense to you enough for you to get behind it and put your sort of like the belief system or your, you said by science, whatever. What is it that was convincing about that argument so the point where you're going to be a proponent of flat earth?
Yeah, so I was watching the Eddie Bravo, Joe Rogan thing during the Trump 2016, I forgot what it was. But I think it was after. But no, it was actually during Hillary versus Trump. And I was...
Yeah, it's that far back. Yeah, that's right. I remember this.
It goes further back, but that's when it hit the mainstream. And then it turns out it was a dark web leak of Trump administration putting fear into the public to not trust the establishment. Because if the earth is flat, what else are they lying to us about?
Yeah.
So they won't choose Hillary. And then the Trump administration kind of like never spoke about it again. Not that they spoke about it publicly, but all these dark web places that I go to, we're talking about this being, it was with the Hillary Clinton email leaks, which you don't know about the Moloch, right? The Moloch leaks.
This is 2016, so this is 4chan that you're seeing a lot of this.
Pizzagate time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So there was a Clinton email saying I have to sacrifice a chicken, which is code, FBI code for...
The dark web that convinced you that flat earth is a valid...
No, it was the... Eric Dubay, when he was mentioned on Eddie Bravo's, because I'm like, what the fuck? Do Amish people believe in flat earth? But the first thing I saw, I'm not a moonlander. Everyone knows it's fake. Richard Nixon speaking to astronauts on a landline telephone.
Right. He got patched into Houston, and they...
You believe in the moon? Oh, this is going to be humiliating for you.
Today...
There's a moonlander?
Today...
Oh, you are getting... We can say that.
Today is what we're doing. No NASA... and nothing to do with space.
Whoa.
Still going to prove this Earth is round.
To answer Rolo's question, you said no NASA?
Yeah.
NASA's the reason I became a flat earther, because this the first time they try to bury it online, but these have 100 million views, these clips. Have you seen the NASA astronauts caught on chroma key, green screen, blue screen, and harnesses? You've seen the harnesses, haven't you?
One of them was a hoax. They actually had a girl who was doing a hoax, like literally on a green screen, and they tried to say it was an astronaut. It was not an astronaut. One of them, it wasn't a green screen. They were using a codex, and they just cut it off, and it keeps. So if you know anything about video codecs,
okay, interesting.
Okay, so we're going to start now, but before so everybody understands, I've got my stopwatch here on the.
I don't even know if we'll need that. We'll just leave this some dots. Okay.
Now, Rolo.
So first we're going to start with this how we form.
Yeah.
So I want to start with John.
Okay.
John, you got 5 minutes to make your case and tell us why the disk theory is not this theory. Tell us what it is that you believe in and why you think it's about.
Okay.
And go.
First, I'm known for I destroyed engineers, physicists, and NASA employee, even a guy who was almost going to be telemetry for NASA, unless he was fucking lying, but he had some credentials. I've debated hundreds of people, wiped the floor with them. I actually thought you were going to be my hardest opponent because you are Air Force and you've done these debates and you know what I'm bringing.
Yep.
But you just said you're a moonlander. So now I'm confident because now I know how far the delusion goes. But when I saw, he will never admit, there's a clip on the movie Level, very viral movie from ericdubay.com of George Bush Sr. being wheeled out in a wheelchair in NASA, and in the background, when you zoom in and they cut it up, it's the same astronaut watching water congeal to a ball, but he's on a chroma key playing with a fake ball, proving water doesn't turn into a ball. They're not in the ISS, and there's harnesses, pulled wires, caught, and one wasn't even invisible. One was a real harness. You've seen those.
Listen,
yes or no?
No, I've not seen those.
No, check this out. When I drop these clips on Twitter after the debate, it's going to be a before and after.
Let's do it.
And so
let's do it. Yeah, for sure. But there's other ways to make me a believer, and I'm going to go over what those are as well. For the rest of this debate, I'm not going to bring up NASA at all.
Okay.
Because I know what you guys do. You just say it's fake, and then that's it. And so we're not going to.
So what about
completely unproductive to even talk about this? I'm not going to bring up Mars. I'm not going to bring up NASA.
what Mars rover?
I'm not going
Are any of those photos real to you?
I'm not going to bring up that because there's too many things.
Because it's all fake news.
There's too many things you have to answer for that you're not going to be able.
So hold on. Everything we learned in elementary school, Mars, Jupiter, all your pagan gods are fake news, and you don't want to bring up the fake news?
Here's the thing. So
That's brilliant.
Here's the thing. I'm at you're Jon Zherka, dude. You're way funnier than me. You are way fucking.
I'm funnier than Dave Chappelle.
You are way more charismatic. Would you admit he's way more charismatic than me?
It's the coke. It's the coke.
Dude, you're better looking than me. You all this stuff. No homo. Ready?
No, you have better hair. I'm losing my hair from the amphetamine.
No matter what happens, if somebody is objectively right and they have a debate with you, you talk really loud, you say a bunch of stuff.
Mike,
you're fucking crazy,
You're
bro.
deleting space. This is so unfair. You're deleting 80% of the
fucking
topic.
whores. They're fucking whores. That's why the sun is fake. Bro, listen. Listen. What I want to do, like I love how you do this, and I do, but I'm going to ask you some questions, and then we're going to see if you can answer some of these questions.
I'll stay here for 5 hours.
do it. I love it.
I'll stay here for 5 hours if you tell me why you're deleting 80% of the topic. Outer space. Rolla, is that fair? He's deleting the whole outer space topic. The whole.
Stop. I'll talk to you about NASA, but I want to prove the Earth is round before we get to anything to do with NASA.
So, you wanted me to explain what my model is, right?
Yeah.
What is your model? Is it a disc? Is it what? Like a way I live? Like, okay, pretend I know nothing. Is it a disc?
Sure.
What keeps the sport? How does gravity work?
Okay, so gravity. How did they explain gravity before? Is my timer starting over?
Yeah.
How did they explain gravity before this? I mean, how did they explain why things rise and fall?
It could be in 1689.
Yeah, how did they explain it before the math model of gravity, which makes no sense, right? Is if this water bottle falls, it's denser than the medium surrounding it, air.
No, that's not it.
And if it rises, it's like are you telling me helium is a magical element? A Pikachu balloon is beating gravity that's holding skyscrapers to the ground?
Not only helium, but hydrogen.
Okay, so those are the only two magical
and your boy who ran...
It's more buoyant.
Time out. Your boy who ran Germany back in 1939, he filled a balloon full of hydrogen. Not only will helium do it, hydrogen will do it.
You're making my point for me. You're saying there's two magical elements.
Because there's a periodic table. And on the periodic table, which of those gases have a lower atomic number than oxygen? Helium and hydrogen.
But why are they rising?
Look on the because
they're less dense than the air surrounding it.
Yes, because they have a lower atomic mass in them. Yes, you're correct. That's right.
Jon Zherka, do we live on a disc or do we not live on a disc?
No, we do live on a disc. No. It's not a disc flying through space assumes that space is real. Every single fucking picture on Google of space is computer generated. That's why he's afraid to talk about it. No. Mike, you know why you're afraid to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it. I just want to prove that the Earth is round before we get to that.
Before anything,
yeah.
Do you believe that the composites NASA uses...
Here we go. See,
he's running. He's running.
100%.
Picture of Mars is
100% I'm going to talk about this.
Okay, not space, Earth.
No.
The blue marble. You got to run from the blue marble.
100% I will talk about this. After I prove the Earth is round, after we do that, then we'll get to those.
Someone remind me. You have to say you believe in the blue marble at the end of it.
100%. We'll talk about that at the end. But what I'm not going to do is what every time, because I've watched hundreds of flat Earth debates, and this is what they always do. Prove to us that you can do it without NASA. So I'm going to take you up on the challenge. I'm going to prove to you without NASA.
Me too.
We're going to do things that have nothing to do with NASA, and we're going to describe that, and you're not going to be able to explain it. And then at the end, I'm going to give you a proof so that you can prove that the Earth is flat, and then you can take me up on that. And then if you want to talk about NASA, we can do it afterwards. But I'm not getting caught in this trap that I see every single time.
Well, they saved the trap for the end.
There we go. You say the trap for the end. So here's a couple things.
Yeah, so no, it's not a disc world. The Earth would be the basement of the universe. Space is fake. When you think of space,
what are we in right now? Where does the disc float?
Remember, Tesla said Earth is not a sphere, it's a realm.
So
Einstein said, hold on, Einstein said the Earth is an observable, motionless.
Einstein never said that. Einstein said that, but by all observable means, or we'll read the quote later. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. And when you look at star trails,
you want to know where I am? Zherka, tell me where I am.
Look at star trails. Polaris, the North Star, has not deviated an inch off the sky for thousands of years.
But it did deviate before thousands of years.
But star trails never intersect. They all go one way. Why? Why have the stars been, there's the Big Dipper. You're not in an acentric, heliocentric model flying through space because it's been the same for thousands of fucking years. But they want to go with their fake, time is relative. Like these stars are just so far away. And what you're telling me, you're taking pictures of the cosmos changing.
You don't have to do that. You can actually look at the moons of Jupiter and see them changing. You don't have to worry about
the
that.
CGI of Jupiter.
Again, but if I go and I look, I can take $100 telescope right now. Anybody, stop this video, and you can look up millions of videos of people. Nothing to do with NASA. You don't need the Arecibo telescope. You don't need the James Webb telescope. You don't need the Hubble telescope.
What about the Lucifer telescope in the Vatican?
You don't need any of those telescopes. You can go to the front of Griffith Observatory in Los Angeles, and you can look at one of those cheap telescopes, and you can clearly see Ganymede, Io, Callisto, and Europa, the 4 major moons of Jupiter.
Really? Are you sure they're not just luminaries in the fucking sky?
Not only can you see them, you can see the red swirling storm around Jupiter, and you can.
You're saying you can see lights in the sky, and you know what they are. That's what you're saying.
Because they go behind each other. That's the reason why you can see.
So you're convinced a light in the sky is a moon.
And when you see them. And you can see them in different positions, meaning it takes 12 years for Jupiter or whatever you believe Jupiter is to go around the sun, and it takes 365 days for the Earth to do it.
Isn't Jupiter the pagan storm god? But you believe there's a storm on Jupiter?
Here we go.
Then repackage that pagan shit for you and you buy it.
Thor is it.
And remember, heliocentrism from Helios. This is Apollo solar worship. This is sun worship. This is Luciferian.
Yeah, right. But you're gonna win the debate with the
and where did heliocentrism come from?
Bro,
the Vatican.
Stop. You're the one who's running now. Stop. Listen. Okay, here we go. So here's the first thing I'm going to ask you, and then we're going to do the first 3 major proofs. And the first one is, if I am standing in Sydney, Australia, and if I'm standing in Johannesburg, South Africa, and if I'm standing in Buenos Aires, Argentina, when I look to the south, I see the same Southern Cross. If I were to take long exposure photography, I would see the entire celestial sphere all around me. I would see the entire celestial sphere go around a central point in the southern point, in the Southern Cross. Right. But in all 3 places, I'm seeing the same thing, but according to the flat Earth model, I'm facing in 3 different directions. Now, the answer that flat Earthers
there was a mirror effect they had last time.
No, it wasn't.
Do you remember that?
No, it was you have your own personal dome. Meaning it's like my little pond where we all okay, but that's what Whitsitt said, and that's what fucking Jaron said. And then
are they saying optically that's you have your personal dome?
Yeah, you have
not actually a personal dome.
No, they think you have actually, but as soon as for some reason in the northern hemisphere there is no personal dome, but in the southern hemisphere, when I go to these 3 places, it is irrefutable that I see the same thing. Even flat earthers admit that you see the same thing in all 3 places. And the only possible way that is because you're looking at the same point. And the reason why you're looking at the same point is because the Earth is round. Don't care about NASA, don't care about Mars, don't care about any of those things. When I'm in the southern hemisphere, not only can I see the Southern Cross, I can't see fucking Polaris anymore because the Earth has blocked me from Polaris, showing that the Earth is round. And we'll get into the point.
That's a great point. That's great.
So the point is, if I'm looking in all 3 places to the south, I can't see anything else but that. There's two things. Flat Earthers will say, well, 3 actually. One, they'll say that the southern pole rotates around the Earth, but that's impossible because you can actually have 2 places that are in night at the same time. So Santiago or Johannesburg and Sydney will be at nighttime at the same time, and you will both see the Southern Cross at the same time. So that's
at what part of the year is that?
That's going to be winter in the southern hemisphere, so summer in the northern hemisphere.
Okay, so
that's going to be when the sun is in the little circle in the middle and not in the big circle on the outside.
Now, can you have can you have a 24-hour sun?
Okay, hold on.
Can you record a 24-hour sun?
No, but even
has anyone recorded a 24-hour sun?
In northern latitudes, you don't.
But whoa, it's like you've never seen a recording of a 20.
No, it'll dip down.
Now he's drowning.
It'll dip down below the equator and then come back up.
But I have footage. And the footage is blocked on YouTube. But we flat earthers have the footage. We've done it ourselves. You don't believe in a 24-hour sun that never touches the horizontal horizon.
I think if you went farther north and it was on June 21st, you might be able to see.
If I pulled up footage right
now, you're high enough. Well,
I'm not going to lose. We're not going to lose the full state.
That's fine.
But you don't want to say doing a line, right?
We'll show that later. But that doesn't make any difference.
No, it does. Because when I drop it on Twitter, it's going to humiliate you.
It's not going to humiliate me because if I'm in the North Pole, and remember, there's also, you had some arguments about magnetic North Pole. There is a difference between the North Pole, the actual North Pole, that the flat Earth, that is the middle of the flat Earth, and the magnetic North Pole.
Well, where's south on a compass? You're an army guy. Where's south on a compass?
It's south. It's the opposite of north.
Where is south on a compass? If you're an army guy, where is south?
It's the opposite of north.
You believe in a south pole,
but there's no upside down, up and down.
South is not you're saying opposite because you're saying it's 180 degrees away from north.
But
you're saying, what you're really saying,
just admitted,
you're just admitting there is no South Pole.
You just admitted that you see the South Pole when you're in Buenos Aires, when you're in Sydney, Australia.
I didn't read that one.
When you go in all three of those places, please, everyone, stop this recording. Put this in your watch later list and go and watch. And you can see in all three of those places, indefatigably, you will see, if you use long exposure lenses, you will see the entire sky go around one point, and you will see the Southern Cross in all three of those places. You are facing in the same direction, and you will not see Polaris. When you are looking at Polaris, and you're in the northern hemisphere, like let's say in New York or in Las Vegas, you can see Polaris, you cannot see the Southern Cross because those places are blocked. And what flat earthers will say is because there is a finite light, you
didn't answer it.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
When I said Polaris has not deviated an inch off the sky, you're saying I can find a hide and seek spot to hide from it.
Here we go. Now,
I don't see it from this spot.
Here we go.
Yes.
So
it has.
And I'm going to prove it. I'm going to prove it through. I'm going to prove it through Gary the Numbers Guy, because there's a difference.
Oh, the guy who beat you.
There's a difference between Vedic astrology and Greco-Roman astrology. And in Greco-Roman astrology, if you're a Libra, your sign is actually in Sagittarius because the Earth, it precesses. And it's proof that it precesses. That's why all the zodiac signs are off by 15 degrees. Because in the last 2,500 years, when the zodiac was created, Polaris was not exactly on the North Star like it is now. There's a second proof. But actually, there's Aztec ruins that show that we're aligned with the North Star, and they're 3,000 years old, and they're off. They're in a different place.
But
the point is,
the Earth. You're missing the whole point. The Earth for thousands of years, the stars have to swirl and once they're all over.
They don't. Okay, so now here's another problem with your thing. So,
well, how fast is the Earth moving? I thought we're moving very fast.
We are moving very fast.
So why the fuck are they always the same?
So let's go over that.
Fixed in place.
So they aren't. And actually, Whitsitt talked about this on your debate. So when the Earth, let's just say, just humor me here, it's 93 million miles average distance between the Earth and the Sun.
Yeah.
And so in June 21st, I'm over here, and we'll just say in December 21st, I'm over here. When we look at stars, we can see in arc seconds they actually move. And Whitsitt said, well, how do we know that the stars aren't moving and that the Earth isn't moving? And the reason why we know is because when they go back to December 21st, they move the fuck back to where they were originally.
Well, how much are they moving?
Parallax proves that we're the ones moving and not the star. So you can't.
Really? So Michelson-Morley 67.
Thank you.
Hold on, wait, but thank you for bringing up Michelson-Morley. Yes. We'll go there in a second. Hold on. You said
thank you for bringing that up.
We'll go to Michelson in a second, but 93 million miles from the Sun?
No, it's 180. So
No, for the Sun and the Earth, right? Mm-hmm. So we agree on that?
Yeah.
How the fuck do you have a perfect eclipse?
What do you mean?
You're going to play the Goldilocks thing, really?
You're going to say
a perfect fucking
okay,
eclipse.
Cool. So my question for you is:
the Sun and the Moon are not relatively the same size.
Flat Earth, they're exactly the same size.
No, not exactly. Relatively.
Okay, so in flat Earth, they're relatively the same size. How do you explain that? How do you explain that in flat Earth? Why are they the same size in flat Earth? Why are they the same size?
What do you mean, why?
Well, they have to be, because there's eclipses in flat Earth also. So why are the Sun and the Moon the same size in flat Earth?
Our model is that the Earth is bigger than the Sun and Moon. Your model is that the Sun is bigger than Earth.
Well, why are...
If the Sun is bigger than the Earth, how the fuck is an eclipse with the Moon? The Moon is tiny.
Let's say...
Is it just perfectly far away?
No, let's say... No, I'm going to...
You have to do Goldilocks answer here.
I'm going to put this on you. Why is it, if the Sun and the Moon are smaller than the Earth in the flat Earth model, why are they the same size? Why are they the same size?
That's how God made it.
Okay, good. I just wanted to say,
is that how God made it? Hey, God, why is the grass?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Doug.
Hold on. No, wait. Hold on. Why is the Sun bigger than the Earth?
Why is the Sun bigger than the Earth?
Your answer would be because God made it.
No, it wouldn't be. Why? Because gravity. Because that's the original. Listen, that's the original formation of the galaxy.
So you believe in a burning ball of gas in a vacuum?
Thank you.
In a fucking vacuum,
burning ball of gas.
I know for each one. The Earth rotates once every 23 hours
and 6 minutes. Yes.
So it's called.
Whoa. Is that 66.6?
No.
Is that the
36 minutes? 56 minutes. 50.
I'll put it on Twitter.
Spins at the speed of
about 1,100 miles. 1,100 miles.
That angle you said 23.
It's 2356.
Yeah, in that you know which angle that is? That's 66.6 Freemasonic.
There we go. Freemasonic. That's it. There we go. No. Okay.
How are we gonna leave?
Okay, but so let's not. We're flowing
and since it's military guy,
go ahead.
No. If he says stars, I stay on stars. If he says sun, I'll go to sun. I can go anywhere. But you're a military guy. What is Operation Fishbowl?
Listen, I know what you're
telling me. Operation Fishbowl.
No idea.
Shooting rockets against the dome.
No idea.
Dominic means in Latin of the Lord.
Again,
you don't know what it is. Operation
I'm going to point this out again. I'm going to point this out again. I said at the beginning of this, I wasn't going to invoke NASA or spaceflight whatsoever, and I was going to prove that the Earth is round. So we're going to stay on this. Okay. So now The next part of it,
water. Thank you.
The next part of going into what you're saying, all right? So the parallax shows that the Earth is moving. Now let's go to
That's why you think it's a ball? Because of the parallax? Really?
No.
I thought it's just so obvious.
The parallax shows that it's moving. Now let's go to Michelson-Morley. So what happened was, before, when we would see something like sound, we knew that sound traveled through a medium. It travels through more denser mediums, it goes faster, and more lighter mediums, it goes slower. Meaning sound actually travels faster through water than it does through air. So
and faster through women. They're so fast.
yeah, it does. It goes pretty fast through them as well. So because of that, back in the 1800s, we just assumed that maybe light also traveled through a medium. And we called it, before we knew what it was or had any idea that it actually doesn't exist, a luminiferous ether. Michelson-Morley, please don't take my word for this, look it up on your own, was to disprove or prove luminiferous ether, not to prove or disprove whether or not the Earth was moving.
Who has proved the Earth is moving, Mike? Who has proved? I'll give you the point. I'll give it to you.
And Dr. Michelson and Dr. Morley, when they died, never believed that the Earth wasn't moving, never believed the Earth was flat, and nor did Albert Einstein. When Albert Einstein makes the quote that you misinterpret in the quote, and I'm going to read the quote because
Einstein fucked his cousin.
Okay, right, he did. Ready? So here's the thing.
That's your prophet, right?
This is my favorite part about this is that Whitsitt goes, I'm not cherry picking here, and then literally cherry picked in the interview.
Wait. Can I just give you the point? Because I didn't do this much research on big.
I don't.
You can have this.
Okay.
But you can have the point completely. I don't need the fucking spiel. But I'm not Andrew Tate where I go, I'm top G. I know when I'm lose a point, right? You probably know more about that. But you're telling me.
Yeah.
You don't believe in objective truth if you believe in Einstein.
What are you talking about? Well, you're talking about relativity.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You don't believe in it.
So no, it's not objective truth. When you're confusing the actual denotative version of the word relative with relativity. Those are two different things. Relativity has to do with the bending of space-time, and I'm not even going to go
into that
because that's still space, and we're still sticking on the Earth.
Okay, yeah. You're right.
Before we get into that, we can talk about
Wait,
that.
hold on. Question. Hold on.
Hold on. Before we do this real quick, because this is the most misquoted thing I've ever heard. What he says is, Albert Einstein says, since then, this is in 1905, so he invents relativity in 1905.
Before he fucked his cousin.
Right, before he fucked his cousin. In 1887, though, this is when Michelson-Morley did their experiment, and we can go.
We all got a hot cousin.
Can we admit that? Yes. Okay, stop. No, I never had a hot cousin. Okay. So anyway.
What a liar. No,
I can't trust this guy.
He's a globalist.
Right, basically, since then I have come to believe that the motion of the Earth cannot be detected by any optical means. So what he said before several times.
By no scientific experiment is what he's really saying.
But what he's talking about, though, is only Michelson-Morley. And the last line, he goes, though the Earth is revolving around the sun.
He's paid to say that.
Right. But again, is how is he? I don't want to go into why he would be paid to say this in 1905 when he's not even. But he's not even. Okay.
He's leading the attack on
If you want to go, we're going way off topic here. But before you remember you were saying the dinosaurs are an attack on the creation story on Christianity.
You believe in dinosaurs?
No, time out.
But no, say it on camera. I'm Mike Sartain. Believe in dinosaurs right now.
When you say on camera, you believe that dinosaurs are an attack on Christianity. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. But there's also a Jewish creation story and a Muslim creation story.
For what?
The Jewish creation story has Genesis in the Torah. It's all Genesis.
You're talking about Abrahamic faith?
Yeah, but my point. But no. Same thing with Islam. Islam has a creation story. So it's
what are you talking about? They all pretending they believe in the same God.
No. My point is, dinosaurs are not just an attack on Christianity. They're an attack on all creation stories.
No, because what is promoted on the algorithm? Islam, not Christianity. Nick Fuentes is not promoted like Muhammad. Hold on. Is Nick Fuentes promoted like Muhammad Hijab? Are you fucking joking me?
You're missing the point of what I'm trying to say.
No, you're trying to lump them all together.
No, what I'm saying is in general, forget the internet. What your point specifically was that the dinosaurs, we're not here to talk about dinosaurs, but
we can do 5 minutes quickly. Why do you believe in dinosaurs? Just hit me, convince me?
Because where we found the fossils, where it is in the carbon dating, there has to have been something there.
When was the first bone found?
1700s, I believe, 1600s.
And only in only in the West. But only not in China.
That's when it was recorded, though.
Oh my gosh, that's after. Right. I'll post on Twitter. First of all, 99% of all dinosaur bones are made out of rat bones.
Actually, 100.
They're all replicas. Admit they're replicas.
But they're 65 million years old, so 100% of them is not biological material. It's all sediment that were placed where the bone was. So like that, what you're saying.
So are they lizards or do they have feathers? Which one do you go?
In evolution, which I'm sure you don't believe in, at evolution, they are a bifurcation point between the lizard.
Wait, you believe in evolution? Yep. Where are the intermediary species between a canine or let's say a whale turning into a land mammal?
No.
Where's the intermediary species?
There is no.
There's zero, but there should be millions.
So a whale has its own tree, has its own tree, and the thing that bridges in between is like.
Where are the bones of the whales growing fucking legs? Where are they? There should be millions. Where are they?
No, because
you believe in adaptation. I believe in adaptation.
Extinction of it.
No, you want to talk about adaptation? You want to talk about adaptation? Yeah. Adaptation is real. Animals adapt to their environment.
Thank you. Yes, of course.
But species don't cross. From whale into a dog? Are you fucking joking?
Nobody says a whale crossed into a dog.
But there's a million intermediate species and you haven't found one fucking bone.
No, but you're not going to find bones unless they are specifically trapped in certain areas.
How do we get different bred dogs? Go.
That's
is that from wolves? Is that from Canis lupus?
It's artificial selection.
But is that from wolves? We breed dogs with dogs. We don't breed them with fucking wolves. That's how we get different dogs.
Yes.
So it's not going from wolf to dog. You admit it.
No, wait a second. We have records of actual Germanic gray wolves turning into dogs.
Because dogs existed.
No.
They existed.
Dogs, the early dude, dogs
come from dogs and wolves. There's not wolves. There
are no dog bones before 50,000 years ago.
Oh my God.
Free, like,
you're not crazy.
Gray wolves from Germanic tribes.
Wolves turned into dogs. That's what you're saying. Say that on camera.
Oh, no, time out. You said
scientists disagree.
If I took DNA of your one of your family members and yours, would I be able to match the two of you together?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I could do the same thing with a dog and a wolf.
Yeah. But would you find DNA of me turning into an African?
No.
Exactly. A wolf doesn't turn into a dog. That's the whole point.
But if you and an African person, I'm going to find over 99% commonality in your genetics between you and an African.
Yeah, you're going to say that about a fucking banana too. I'm saying,
banana's 50%. Actually, it's not 100%.
Can an Albanian just over time just turn into
that's how
whale into a dog? That's what I'm talking about.
That's how evolution works.
But you're saying
there's billions of different species, and
where are they? You're saying billions. Where are they? Where are the billions of intermediary?
Again, bacteria. They get destroyed.
You said you're finding bones all over the place. Where are the whale bones turning into mammals?
Whales are mammals. Whales are mammals.
No. Land mammals.
Right, but
where are they?
Where? Because if you look at the genetic commonality between, like, say,
just say they don't exist. You know they don't exist.
No, but as far as whale bones specifically dealing with that thing, they're so old that you wouldn't have found the bones. There's like 65 million. We didn't.
How did you? Hold on. No, roll it. You gotta let me talk. You gotta let me talk. Please. Mike.
Yeah.
You said they're so old, you will never find them.
Yeah.
How the fuck you find a Tyrannosaurus Rex?
Great.
Boom!
Great.
That's it.
Great.
You're done on dinosaurs. We're going back to flat Earth.
Here we go.
No, look at the cold.
Here's how you find it. Here's how you find it. It's buried in certain areas. So we found skulls and human remains from 3 million years ago. We found other remains of other animals 40, 50 million years ago.
Tyrannosaurus Rex is okay, but whale turning into a land...
Again, where would a whale have died?
Huh?
Where would a whale have died? Where would a whale die?
Obviously at that beach amphibian.
No, they don't beach. When whales die, where do they go? Where do their bones?
These aren't whales.
No.
These are turning into
anything. Mastodon, or like what's the thing?
Megalodon.
The old shark thing, whatever. What I'm talking about is where would they die? Where would they die?
Ocean.
They would die in the ocean. Correct. Where we can't even get to now.
Your argument is you can't find a fucking whale bone.
Yeah.
You can't find a one. Look at him. I got his ass now. Put the camera on him. Put the camera on him.
Yes, awesome. Okay, so now the first thing that we went over was the 3 places you can see the Southern Cross from 3 places in the Southern Hemisphere. The second one was flying in the Southern Hemisphere. So there is a Kwanzaa flight, Flight 63, that goes from Johannesburg, South Africa to Sydney, Australia. And there are flights that go in opposite directions at the same time. The theory that flat earthers have is that there's a 1,000 kilometer headwind or tailwind. Unfortunately, that doesn't work because it would have to go in both directions at the same time. And you could disprove all of fucking round Earth. And all you did was get into the cabin and take a picture of the ground speed. In an airplane, you have IAS, TAS, and GS. Ground speed, indicated airspeed, and true airspeed. All you have to do is show that the indicated airspeed was 275 and the ground speed was 2,000 knots. But you can't do that because there is no fucking headwind or tailwind that's going 1,000 miles an hour. And the flight is 14 hours one way and 12 hours the other, and you don't go over the northern hemisphere. Not possible in a flat Earth.
You just said you have to get in the cabin of an air.
So let's do it.
Hold on. It's my turn. Let's roll it. You gotta give me my.
Let's do it. You and me do it. We can do it now, bro.
Rolo, let me talk. He said you gotta get in the cabin of an airplane, right, Rolo?
Okay.
Yep.
Explain to me why that's a problem.
Yeah.
We get all.
Also, you can hold your own. You can have your own GPS and check ground speed. You can hold your own GPS and check.
To get here? Okay.
Did you see? Have you been on a plane? So you saw the curve at 30,000 feet in altitude?
No, you do not. You don't.
Yeah, you better say that. He was about to say, yeah.
The curve. You can see the curve. No.
But you've said it, Roll, admit it, you've said to someone before. Have you been on an airplane? Have you seen the curve? You've said that before.
No, never said.
I have a clip.
Okay, so ready? Here's the.
But hold on.
You cannot see the curve at 35,000 feet. Go ahead.
Why not? Why wouldn't you see the curve?
Okay, so you will not see the curve until 260,000 feet. Because here's the thing. The curve is obvious within human beings have a 100.
How many feet did you say?
260,000 feet.
So NASA disagrees with you significantly.
About seeing that. No.
What does NASA say?
Here we go. If I take a panoramic camera and I take a photograph of the horizon and I compress it in, you will see a curve. Human beings have a 135-degree peripheral vision, and they can see pretty clearly in this like middle 60 degrees. In the middle 60 degrees, when do you see the curve? It's about at 50 miles, 260,000 feet. That's when you'll see it. This is the reason. And also, the balloon thing, no, that wasn't the curve. The fisheye thing, you're correct. That wasn't the curve.
Excuse me, what? Say it all into what's a fisheye? You sound like a conspiracy theory.
No, I'm not.
What's a fisheye?
You can't see a curve until you get to 50 miles. You can't. So all those people are wrong. You're correct. They're all wrong.
What about Red Bull jump?
Yeah, that's 128,000 feet. That wasn't 260,000 feet.
Why does everyone say that's proof of?
Because they're dumb. I agree with you that they're dumb. They don't know how a fisheye length works.
Is there footage online of a curve there?
Yeah. There is, yeah. But time out. We talk about this one more time. I'm not going to the NASA shit. I'm going to prove that the Earth is round, and I'm not going to use. Yes, it is. Anything that goes above that,
Red Bull's
128,000 feet. Yeah. 260,000 feet.
You're saying you're going with you're going with Neil deGrasse Tyson that it's going to be way higher.
I don't know if Neil said that, but
you
it's
don't want to cut it at what? You don't want to cut it at 120?
No, it's 260,000 feet. That's when you'll.
But at 8 inches per mile, hold on, at 8 inches per mile square curvature calculation.
So great.
You should be able to see so much further than
Thank you. High five. Thank you so much. Thank you. 8 inches per mile squared. Ready? And here we go. 8 inches per mile squared measures a parabola. Please take a time to pause this and look it up. We are also, on every single one of the proofs I have here, we're going to put in the description with timestamps an article showing each one of these things to be true. 8 inches per mile squared is somewhat accurate at 20 miles. It starts to get inaccurate at 40, and at 60 miles, it's unusable.
Why?
100 miles. Because the Earth, in our model, is a circle or an oblate spheroid. A parabola.
It's not a circle, it's a sphere.
A spheroid. The
circle is flat.
Right, but with the measurement you're doing for the curvature of the Earth, it's for a line.
How is it?
It's for a curved line. So in this case, once you get past 60 miles, it's off. Now, I'm going to...
Wait, you're saying that it changes?
No. What I'm saying, it's a circle. 8 inches per mile squared.
Wait. Why does it...
8 inches per mile squared.
The higher up you go, you
should per mile squared is a parabola.
When does the horizontal horizon start to do this? At what altitude does it even slightly bend? You're saying
260,000 miles, yeah.
260? Yeah. NASA was like at 65,000.
No.
You're like...
One more time. I'm going to reiterate.
Mike knows more than NASA.
Yeah, one more time.
Which if
you take a panoramic photo of 180 degrees and then you compress it,
why does it have to be panoramic?
Because the human eye only goes 135, and that's the reason why. Because in the middle 60 degrees of vision, in order to see it, you have to be at 260,000 feet.
This cope, you can never see the curve.
No, you can see the curve. 260,000 feet.
Where?
Okay. Anyway, let's keep going. So going back to the thing that we were saying before about the curve. If you take a panoramic view and you compress it, you can see a curve.
It doesn't matter how big it is.
That curve, you can see that curve at 50 miles.
Yeah, 50 miles up. Yeah. 50. No, at 50. So just imagine, as I go higher and higher, the curve gets more and more narrow. Now, going back to 8 inches per mile squared. At 8 inches, I'm going to use your math. At 8 inches per mile squared, at 100 miles, the drop-off is 1.3 miles. Okay, we'll just do that. But let's make it a little.
You don't even have drop-off in yours.
Of course we do.
You're telling me at 200,000?
No, I'm sorry. We're talking about two different things. I'm talking about the 8 inches per mile squared measuring the curvature of the Earth. It doesn't measure the curvature of the Earth. It measures a parabola. The Earth is a circle.
But is that visible? Is that parabola visible to the human eye?
At a certain altitude.
You believe it's visible? Because a lot of you guys say our eyes just can't see the curve.
I'm going to go with the proofs, and I don't care what other people are saying. I'm just going to listen to what I'm saying right here. Now, what happens is with the 260,000 feet to see the curve, at 8 inches per mile squared, it starts to become inaccurate and breaks off from the measurement of a circle at 60 miles. So we're going to use a math equation here. You're 6'5", right? You're about 77 inches tall. I'm about 74 inches tall, right? So in these measurements, how much is a 1% deviation? How many inches are in a mile?
Oh, you're saying
how many inches are in a mile? It's 63,360 inches in a mile. 1% off is 630 inches. At 60 miles, you're already more than 1% off. meaning whatever variation or whatever error that there is, it's 10 times taller than you at 60 miles. That's the reason why they keep coming up with, oh, we shouldn't be able to see this when we can see this. It's two things. The 8 inches per square mile does not accurately reflect the surface of the Earth, number one. And two, there's atmospheric compression, which your side agrees to, which is the reason why you see sunsets and the sun gets bigger. That's the reason why. 3, when it comes to, you know what ham radios are, right? You can bounce them off the atmosphere and come down. In your case, you bounce them off the dome.
Yeah,
come down. Okay, cool. You had Witsit talking about microwave transmissions for Ace High and NATO, and there's no way it should go 250 miles. Yes, it's called tropospheric scatter. That's how it bounces off, and you can go 500 miles just by doing that.
Do you really believe? Do you know what your military chain of command is? Of course you know.
Yeah.
Right? Because people like Rollo would say, well, if it's a secret, how did it not leak? It's a military chain of command. Only telemetry and military would know. That's it. You don't really think the military that uses azimuthal equidistance targeting maps?
Oh,
you don't believe the military uses our map? You think they use Mercator?
Let me ask you a question. How did the photos from Gitmo get out?
What is Gitmo?
Guantanamo Bay. Remember they referred to? How did that? I thought the U.S. military would just keep everything a secret. How does that work?
It got out like Flat Earth, the most YouTube.
No,
ever. That's right. That's right. That's right.
The reason
it did get out. That's my point.
No, it didn't.
Literally my point.
It didn't get out. Flat Earth is nothing but a Russian psyop in 2016. That's all it fucking.
Wow, Russians have that much power in your head?
They
you know that we believe them every
head because they're sitting there posting on 4chan and you believed everything they were fucking saying before the fucking 2016 election. That's the only reason. And we're even talking about this. There is no Flat Earth movement in 1975. Then none of this shit is happening until recently. No, there's. Okay, anyway.
Well, what about 1900s? You said Russia. In the 1900s, Russians were taught about geospatial.
Hey, you know what? I'm
in the 1900s, they were taught about this.
For sure. Well, what I'm curious from your standpoint, curious about from your standpoint is, actually, I don't want to get into this because you were saying the thing about ADS, and I won't talk about that yet. How do you explain the flight from Johannesburg to Sydney taking 12 hours?
I've heard the argument. I don't remember. I don't explain it. You can have that one. Okay. But that flight you take, if you have to make an emergency landing.
There we go. Beautiful.
Oh, no, let me make it. Yeah. All emergency landing systems in airplanes use our Flat Earth. They don't use fuck all from your side.
They use a flat map. They don't use your flat Earth map.
Oh, no. Do they? But is there an ice wall in that? No. Is there the highest shoreline on Earth, Antarctica?
Okay, the highest shoreline on Earth is in Pakistan. One of them is in Hawaii, and the other highest shoreline on Earth is in Dover.
Apparently, Wikipedia disagrees with you. Pull it up.
There are 18 shorelines higher than the one in Antarctica.
What's the high? Well, the one that when you Google it, which one pops up? It's Antarctica.
No, the one in Hawaii is actually the highest shoreline.
Lock that answer in red.
Okay, for sure. The highest shoreline in the world is in Hawaii. All right, so anyway, going back to what you were saying before. So you explain it by how you think it's because of headwinds and tailwinds, or you just don't have an answer for that?
Yeah, I don't need that one's like a more boring one to me. You can have it. I know what you're trying to say, but I can kind of reverse it to you. You globetards believe in your globalist model that Mike and Zherka can fuck 2 models in a helicopter that floats 24 hours above. Well, let's say we float 10 hours above the Earth. Apparently, the Earth.
10 hours? What do you mean?
Let's say the
helicopter for 10 hours.
Here, I can't see. Put my face on the screen so I can see if they can see my hand. Look at this.
Yeah.
We're in this helicopter.
Yeah.
And we let the Earth roll under us.
Yeah.
10 hours, but we land in the same spot. And you're going to, I dare you to go to Coriolis here.
Let's do it.
Just say the atmosphere is moving too.
It's not Coriolis.
No, bite the bullet. Say the atmosphere is moving too.
So we're gonna go back to the original.
No, I want the yes or no. Is the atmosphere moving?
The original formation of the Earth, the proto-Earth, there was no atmosphere on it. Once the atmosphere comes, the atmosphere is subject to the same angular momentum as the Earth that is spinning. So meaning what you're saying before is that the Earth, the atmosphere should be going along with the Earth, because what you're doing is
I'm asking what you believe.
You're presupposing that there's something dragging the atmosphere, but there's nothing up there for.
No, you're saying. No, stop. You're saying the helicopter's being dragged.
I'm not saying anything's.
Then why are you landing in the same spot?
Relative to that spot, it's not being dragged anywhere. Relative to the Earth's motion, it's not going anywhere. No, it's not.
It picks and chooses.
So the point is, what you're trying to say is that the atmosphere, if the Earth is spinning, should be dragged behind the Earth, but it shouldn't, because it contains the same angular momentum as the Earth. I'll give you an example. If a woman is pregnant and she gives birth to a child, the child doesn't fly in that direction at 1,100 miles an hour. The child has the same angular momentum as its mother when it is birthed. just like the atmosphere has the same angular momentum as the Earth when it first emerged from the Earth.
So same with an airplane?
No, the airplane, whatever.
So how the hell does a plane get from point A to point B?
Because the atmosphere has the same angular momentum as the Earth. See, you're trying. So the whole
Your argument is when you're in a car, you don't feel the speed, right?
no, you feel the acceleration once you
but
set
not
at
the
a certain
speed, right?
Once you set at a certain speed, you said this. Of course,
Right,
you
you don't feel it.
Do you feel?
Hold on.
You disagree with that argument?
Hold on, I agree, but
Okay.
you're not in a car. You're on the fucking roof. Are you gonna feel motion?
No, if you're
That's the crust of the earth. You lost.
If you are, but no, again, when you're in a car, the atmosphere is moving against you. That's not what's happening.
Are you
here.
feeling motion on the roof of the car, Mike? Or is gravity just helping you?
One more time. If the angular momentum of the atmosphere is the same angular momentum of the Earth, then the atmosphere is going to move with the Earth.
Cute non-answer.
It is the answer.
I'm asking you to feel motion on the roof of a car.
No, because you know if you were
Try this. Why don't we try this?
If you were on the roof of a car, you wouldn't feel motion, except what you would feel is the wind in your face. You wouldn't feel motion.
Really? So if I'm driving and I just do this, you're not going to feel that?
No, but you would feel it inside the car also. You feel it inside the car also. Oh, whoops, boom. Yes, you would feel it
point
inside the
is
car and outside the car because inertia is conserved. Angular momentum is conserved. The problem is what the flat earthers do, and I've seen like round earthers trying to have this debate, is they forget this point. The angular momentum is conserved in the entire planet, and everything that since its inception is there. Again, when you
Wait, at what point do you magically go high up enough that you're into outer space? Do you, what?
375,000 feet. Now, here's my question for you. Ready? Do you remember those jet streams that Whitsitt was talking about was blowing the things back and forth?
Debate?
No, it was your debate that you did with him. My question is, GPS, you're going to tell me, is not satellites. That's fine. We'll give you that. You think it's a bunch of weather balloons, correct?
No.
What do you think? Where's GPS come from? And by the way, GPS does work in the Pacific.
I didn't say that ever in my life. I don't know much about GPS. I always talk about why.
Right, but where's GPS?
I said why. No, I got to ask you because you're going to talk.
I flew over Pacific.
You're attacking an argument that's not even mine.
But it is a flat Earth argument that they'd have to answer.
All right, but it's not mine because if you said you got a list of my arguments. He got a list of my arguments.
He's attacking me for arguments I didn't make. I haven't said nothing about NASA, nothing about Mars, and now I'm doing the same thing here.
No. Look, I know you said you wrote down my positions.
Yes.
That's a Wi-Fi, not a GPS. 97% of Earth Wi-Fi is done through triangulation, grid towers. That's why when you leave to go to the mountains, you lose connection.
No, but your GPS still works.
Okay, are there satellites? How do you not have satellite coverage in the fucking mountains?
But you do. You don't have satellite.
I lose it on here. I lose it.
One more time. Cell signals are UHF. The GPS uses a chip that triangulates your position between 4 different satellites. That is not UHF.
Do you believe that Wi-Fi is done through? Do you believe Wi-Fi is done through the grid and underground sea cables or not?
No. The actual
is 97% of it.
There's a modem in here, a router in here.
You don't buy into this?
The modem is beaming UHF signals into my phone because I've got the password for this Wi-Fi.
I didn't ask that. I said, do you believe that 97% of Earth Wi-Fi has nothing to do with anything in space? Do you believe that?
I'm talking about GPS.
I know you don't want to answer it.
What? No, to do it through.
Oh, you don't want to answer it.
GPS.
Am I allowed to ask him?
GPS satellites.
Can you please answer it?
Information.
So you're the scientist.
GPS satellites have nothing to do with my cell phone.
I said GPS is not my argument. Wi-Fi is. You're attacking the wrong argument.
Okay, so
tell me for Wi-Fi. Do you believe Mike Sartain on camera? 97% of Earth Wi-Fi is done through triangulation, grid towers, underground sea cable.
Oh, Wi-Fi is information. It's not triangulation. Triangulation will show your location. But
so you don't. Just say, look at the camera and say, I don't believe it. Just say, I don't believe it.
I don't understand your question. When you want data,
I'll say this.
Wi-Fi's giving you data.
Okay, I'll say it has.
Why was that? If you want location,
nothing to do with your CGI satellites and your islands.
Oh, forget it. I didn't say anything about that.
You can't. You're stuck. You're freezing. You're frozen.
You have to explain. How the fuck do we get GPS?
I'm not the scientist. You're the scientist.
How do we get GPS on top?
You're a scientist who
doesn't believe GPS on top of Mount Everest. How do we get GPS in the Pacific?
So I don't even have GPS here in the mountains. I try to put a teenager in the woods.
We don't have GPS here, really? Okay.
We're not in the mountains.
Where's the richest thing? We're
not in the mountains.
There's mountains all around us. I have a GPS location.
Hold on. You're telling me if I go to a snowy mountain, I'm gonna have the same fucking.
No, you're gonna have the same location. Remember, global positioning.
It should be the exact same as satellites.
No, it isn't, dude. This is.
You know what Destiny said? Destiny said.
Here's the thing.
Destiny said there's no satellite floating above a mountain, but Satellites orbit.
Yeah, they
You should have. You should have
one more time,
everywhere.
because I have to. I'm not here. I'm here to debate you.
We're poor nations.
I'm here to teach you. Here's the problem. In order to get that level of data coverage, you need higher frequency, which has more attenuation. Even flat earthers agree with this. If I have a higher frequency beam, then it's going to get more attenuation. Since those satellites are 300 to 800 miles up, it is not a good idea to use them for data. Now I've used an Iridium sat phone while flying over Iraq, and I was able to make calls with it via satellite. But it is very, very it is not a good way in order to transmit data to do it that high.
Satellite.
One more time. My argument was about global positioning system, which you do not lose when you lose Wi-Fi. You can still see your position. If you don't believe me, the next time you guys are flying on an airplane, open up your map thing. It'll still show your position. It'll still show you that long.
Are you saying Google Earth?
I'm not talking about Google
Yeah,
Earth.
you don't dare talk about that because it was taking pictures by Google.
Any map whatsoever. Again,
Why did Google
You're
Earth-
doing it again. You see what he's doing? Again, I said no satellites, no NASA, and I'm still going to make my point.
GPS.
No,
How is Google Earth not GPS?
I'm making your point that your ridiculous idea that it's fucking balloons flying through the air.
I never said balloons. I never said
But
balloons. He did it again.
But every single
I
planet.
said underground sea cable and triangulation. That's why.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Now Wi-Fi's not
All right,
GPS.
let's stop with
Wi-Fi's
Wi-Fi.
not GPS.
Let's just talk about GPS.
Okay.
Tell me how Google Earth works.
I don't care what Google Earth.
You don't care?
I don't care.
But you're a scientist.
No, I'm not a
You're a genius.
I'm a scientist.
You're an astrophysicist.
No, bro.
Right?
Oh, let's start up.
Tell me about GPS.
You are the genius, bro. You are.
I know. I'm winning. You're winning over an astrophysicist.
You're fucking. You're better looking than me.
Yes.
You're funnier than me.
And
You're
it's
louder than me.
cocaine.
Bro, you have way more followers than me. Okay, for sure. But you're not winning because you can't explain.
Hold on.
Hold on. When he loses the point, he goes, "Yeah, I could see that point." He's conceded 3 points, and you guys still fucking believe the argument.
Yeah, but
This is madness.
I got you on the meat and potatoes.
What are you talking? No,
I
conjecture.
got you on the meat and potatoes. You got me in a peanut point.
No,
you really think we're waiting?
You really
peanut?
you
No,
really
fucking
think the fact
potato?
that you can't ruin a question? I got a question.
Yeah. If you like satellites, right? What the fuck is Elon Musk setting up into that?
He thinks it goes into the Bermuda Triangle.
with the
He thinks it goes into the Bermuda Triangle. He thinks he lands them on the Bermuda Triangle and it's all CGI. and it's all fake.
I don't, Mike, let me enlighten you. Hold on, Rolo. Rolo.
SpaceX to set
Rolo.
what? To send what up in the air?
First of all, all rockets, if you look at their trajectory, they arch because Operation Fishbowl Dominic. Dominic in Latin means of the Lord, fishbowl of the Lord. It was to launch rockets against the dome to crack it. Now look at this. Rolo. No, Rolo, just a sec. Right now, just smile. I'm going to put, hold on. Okay. Just look at the camera, Rolo, right now. Get Rolo on camera. Rockets are real. They go up. Most of them are launched in Florida into the Bermuda Triangle. But now let's say that. Now let me this. Get the laughing. Ready? I'm going to drop the SpaceX clip on them laughing.
Okay.
My chat knows what I'm doing. And when I drop this clip, you guys have to respond to the clip.
Definitely.
And this clip is not something it's not reaching. It's gonna nuke your belief in these rockets.
So if you're curious, Rolo, what happens?
SpaceX S-10 rocket,
is
S-10.
because again, the atmosphere has the same angular momentum as the Earth. Once you launch from Cape Canaveral and the Earth is it's rotating east to west, you're going to arc over to the east because it gains you speed as you leave the atmosphere. That's the actual answer. All right. Anyway, go back to.
What are you putting up?
Wait, how did they call that? So if they had that much fuel to go to the moon, they didn't have rockets coming back. How did they?
I
don't know, Rolo. I gotta know how did they come back from the moon without a rocket?
Okay, so in order to get into orbit, it's 5 miles a second, 17,500 miles.
But they landed on the moon, right?
Let me finish. So what happens is, what happens is
1.6 Earth's gravity, the moon, right?
Yes, correct. You would cut in, and you would actually get a gravitational boost to leave to go back.
Right.
So
how much fuel would they need to go up?
Most of the fuel would be coming back. But here's the part you don't understand because you don't understand.
You mean going, not coming back.
No, coming back. You need most fuel coming back because the gravitational assist from the moon is 1/6 of.
I know. To get up there, how did they do it without a rocket?
What do you mean how? Without?
How did the lunar rocket?
There's no friction. Like let me ask you something. Look, just humor me. In our vacuum space model, if I'm going 100 miles an hour in this direction, in 100 years, how fast am I going to be going? Rolo? It's 100 miles an hour. It's a constant. It's Newton's third law.
I know, but you're not answering. How is this lifting off the moon without any? Were you saying it has this much fuel to get up?
No, it doesn't need as much fuel. It's 1/6, and it's a light lander. What are you talking about? Oh no, hold on. Well, by the way, we're not doing this because I told you we can get it.
Wait, can I ask you, do you know who Buzz Aldrin is?
When I got, of course I know Buzz.
So Buzz Aldrin said on a,
no,
he said on
ready, here we go.
I'm going to put the clip. I'm going to put the clip away.
Here we go, ready? Buzz Aldrin, what Buzz Aldrin said is a little kid came up to Buzz Aldrin and said,
No, not that. That's not the clip I'm talking about. The clip where he's on, what's the redhead, Jimmy Fallon redhead guy? Conan. He said on Conan the whole moon landing was fake.
This is
He said we faked it, but we still went to the moon. But we showed fake footage because it was ours was blurry. And they said they lost. And NASA said they lost all their technology and it's a painful process to build it back up. You know what
it's a deep fake.
Wait till I have the clip.
Really? Does Ford built a 1965 Shelby today? Do they build one today?
Yeah.
1965. Yeah. No. Do they have the technology to build a 1965 Shelby? Good.
That's exactly.
You
said that's exactly my argument. If NASA is Ford and they have better technology today, why the fuck didn't they go back to like a?
Because they don't have the
They should be able to go.
Because they don't have the engineering to do it. There's no reason to go for it.
There's no, but the technology developed so much they could go 1,000 times.
Okay.
It's the easiest.
Will you hold this? Will you hold on to this? We're gonna get. Once I'm through with my proofs, we will totally talk about.
And hold on, how do we see stars through a moon? Because they said the moon is cosmic plasma in the 1960s, that it's not a rock. You can see stars through them.
You're doing the thing where you're making me the straw man for your ridiculous argument. I never said it's made of plasma.
No, I said that. I said, no, what the fuck? I'm saying the moon is cosmic plasma, me.
Okay.
All right.
It is.
I want to clarify something here really quickly because you've mentioned Operation Dominic a few times in this. Now, you know this, and maybe you don't, but my father was actually on the USS Lansing during Operation Dominic. There were no missiles fired during Operation Dominic. It was they were air bursts and there were surface bursts on the South Pacific, 800 miles off of Hawaii, but it's in the Johnston Atoll.
Where were the surface bursts?
They were on the ocean.
Oh my God! I'll put the clip.
Here we go. There's so much evidence to it showing you hell. You can see the nuclear blast. The U.S. government used the sailors on the ships as human guinea pigs to see how the radiation. What about for air bursts? And by the way, fishbowl is the same thing. Operation Dominic 1, Operation Dominic 2, and then fishbowl. I know everything about this because I wrote a song about this for my band Trial of Ascension called Dominic. It's literally that's what I wrote about. My dad breaks away for about 20.
Rest in peace.
Here we go.
Rest in peace to Rolo's father. But hold on,
Dominic, go look it up. I literally every Veterans Day and every Memorial Day I put something out for my dad because he was part of Operation Dominic.
Okay. Don't worry, I'll put in. You can respond to the clip. But Admiral Byrd is the first person to travel to Antarctica, and he said there's more land southward, 180 degrees away from magnetic north is southward. You circumnavigate east to west like a finger on a fucking plate.
And there are thousands of videos of people flying over Antarctica. There's a video right now of Mr. Beast flying over Antarctica with 155 million views that just came out a month ago. There are so many videos.
To the camera. And
not only this one, you said that there's a fucking ice wall. Really?
It's a shoreline.
How do penguins get over this fucking ice wall, dude? The whole thing's not an ice wall. There are shores already there. There are shores. Then they have to get into the water. There's shores on Antarctica. There are killer whales.
Water inside. There are
killer whales that go up to the shoreline of Antarctica. It's not one continuous shoreline. Like
so when I post the video of a continuous shoreline of a helicopter that travels for 1 hour, you're gonna say it's fake?
What do you mean?
I will post a video of the shoreline, the ice wall.
We know that there's a shoreline. I didn't say it was a shoreline. I said it wasn't a wall.
But you disagree with Admiral Byrd.
It's a beach. There's a parts of it are beach. You're saying the whole thing with.
And you're saying the longest treaty ever held, the Antarctic Treaty, means we can go there.
We can go there. Already. Okay, everyone, stop what they're doing. He's
doing. You can go to 1% road Antarctica.
He's winning a horse. That's why the sun is fake, bro. The sun is fake, bro.
No, the sun's not.
Listen, one more time.
You believe the moon's a rock?
You got the Zherka money. Let's fucking go. Let's do it.
You're not allowed, Mike. You're a military guy.
We can. Zherka.
Yeah.
Mike wants to go to Antarctica. Let's do it. I'll go. 2 seconds. Bro, absolutely that. Hold on.
And one of his Zherka is a $20,000 trip.
Put the camera on me. Put the camera on me. Not only will I go, bro, you can buy a weather balloon. I'll go up in the bid.
No. Let's go to Antarctica.
And all these, weather balloons. Let me get it to Antarctica. I'll go up in the bid.
Let's go to Antarctica. So
the imaginary F-22s and F-16s that are come shoot me down.
Bro, what the field looks like.
Military base. You can't even have a military base there.
In Antarctica,
I used to be at Eielson Air Force Base. I used to be at Eielson Air Force Base in Elmendorf, Alaska. Alaska. You can't take off aircraft with 15 knot.
Alaska is not Antarctica.
Yeah, it's worse than Antarctica. You can't take off with 15 knot crosswinds. There's only one country in the world that has 11 aircraft carriers. There's no way. Bro, you're the one cope. There's no military bases down there.
There's 53 nations signed a military treaty.
The treaties, all the treaty states is that no one country can take over Antarctica. It doesn't say civilians.
So you're telling me that
civilians can go to Antarctica. Civilians can go to Antarctica. They go all the time.
They can only go to a peninsula.
Stop, everybody. Stop. Do what you're doing, guys. And I want you guys to look up.
It's a $20,000 trip he's talking about. And $20,000 to see a fucking penguin at a peninsula.
Again,
you're not allowed to go deep.
You can't do operation deep free. Consider this.
Let's up. Will you go to Antarctica?
Yes. Yes.
Hell yes, I'll go to Antarctica.
And how much does it cost? I know. You want to know?
If he goes,
I know, but do you know how much he has to pay? For one person, do you know?
I got a better idea.
I'll post on my Twitter to humiliate.
I'm going, we accept this challenge.
No, we're doing Antarctica. Bro, you're going to pay $20,000 now. You're going to pay $20,000.
Let's get the views, bro. Let's get the views.
No, we're going to Antarctica. Bro, no, $20,000, and we're going to say we can't even leave.
Here's the thing. Not only are we going to do that, we're going to get a drone, and we're going to go up like 30, 40,000 feet in the air, and you're going to see Antarctica. You're not going to see.
You want to see the curve? Oh, I see the curve.
No, you want not at 30,000 feet. You're like, oh, wait, look at this. There's
millions of footage like this.
Yes, people in Antarctica.
You think they're allowed to explore?
Yeah, they can do. Yeah, they do. He literally climbs like 3 or 4 mountains. He climbs a mountain.
You can go all the way southward.
No one can stop him because there's no fucking military bases in Antarctica, dude.
All right.
There's no military base in Antarctica. No, here's the thing.
Want to bet money right now? No, let's bet $1,000 right now. No, let's bet $1,000 right now. Bet me $1,000 Australians going to Antarctica didn't get stopped by a military ship on YouTube. No. For $2 million.
No.
Let's go.
There's no military base in Antarctica.
What?
No military base.
All the military waters.
Military base in Antarctica.
So you admit all military waters around Antarctica are all of that is being surveillance.
But it's surveilled. I mean, the whole planet's being surveilled.
So those Australians,
the whole planet's being surveilled.
I'm going to post the video tonight. Those Australians that went into Antarctica that they're like flat Earth memeing, they get stopped by a military ship.
Ready? Here we go.
And it says turn around or we're going to shoot you out.
Your flat Earth disc.
You don't buy that.
Your flat Earth disc.
It's not a disc.
Okay, whatever.
Put me in the basement of the firmament.
Basement of the firmament. In order to do that, your flat Earth basement is 24,900 miles across.
Nobody knows that.
What are you talking about? Of course, even flat earthers agree that it's 24,900.
How would a flat earther know how big the Earth?
No, because he would go from one end to the other. What are you talking about? We can circumnavigate it. Why can't you see it? It's still a circle. It's not unexplored land. You can get to. People have been to every edge of Antarctica. So here's the thing: if it's 24,000 miles across and you multiply that by pi, even flat earthers agree with that, then that means the shoreline of Antarctica is 75,000 miles across. But there's a yacht race they do every motherfucking year, and the people get around it.
Who does
75 days? There's hundreds of people that do
what, around Antarctica?
And Antarctica. And here's the thing, bro. They don't turn in, they turn out. Because there's no inward concave.
Really? So what about the flight trails, how airplanes fly straight fucking line?
No, if you
know what I'm talking about.
It's globe. What's it called? It's Great Circle.
All emergency landing on airplanes only makes sense on our maps. They make no sense on yours.
Ready? Here we go.
The refueling.
So here we go. So I do air refueling. That's what I did for a living. So I'm gonna ask you a question. We take your flat Earth and we put it on a regular.
Wait, you were in the international?
Huh? Yeah.
You didn't fly it. Where did you fly?
Iraq and Afghanistan.
Okay. Yeah. So you're telling me when you saw flat earthers leak the footage of the straight lines that they don't do this. They just land, refuel, an emergency landing.
That's not true. That's not true.
Those straight lines you debunked?
Ready? I have 75 emergency landings in a
not
170 time.
There's 200,000 airplane pilots in the Discord who said, yes, that's real.
And
they're liars?
I'm just telling you they're liars. Yes. So here we go. Now,
what do they gain from protecting your government?
First off, they're anonymous on your Discord server. And number two,
they gain no money. Exactly. Right. They make no money.
It's probably one guy. Here's the thing.
My side makes no money. Your side is protecting.
Your side makes a tons of money. Well, you told me you're going to make $50 million on YouTube, dude.
For dating.
Yeah,
for dating.
Here we go.
For dating.
Here we go. We're going to take your flat Earth and we're going to put it on top of a sphere. It won't fit because your flat Earth is 25,000 miles across, and our Earth, our globe Earth, is 8,300 miles. True, yeah. So it won't fit. So let's make the Earth. Let's make a sphere. It's not the Earth, and we'll forget gravity because you don't believe in gravity. Let's make it 100,000 times bigger in area, and we put that flat Earth on top of it, and then we climb over the ice wall in Antarctica. What would we see? We would see the surface of the sphere. But to us, it would look flat.
Picard said it's flat.
No. That's up edge. We're doing a thought experiment. If I take your flat Earth and I took a flat Earth and I put it on top of a sphere that's 100,000 times more area than the Earth, when we come over there, and let's say you and I were we were to avoid the treaty and somehow make it over the ice wall, and we go over there, what would we see? We would see what looks to us as flat.
So wait.
The sphere would look flat. The sphere would look flat. The sphere would look flat if it was 100,000 times bigger than the Earth. And if you don't win, okay, good.
No,
how about 100 million times bigger than the Earth?
Bro,
and we put it on top of there.
Listen,
would it look flat then? No, I want you to say to the camera that if we had an object that was 100 times bigger than the Earth and you were standing on it, you would be able to tell it was a sphere. Go ahead.
The easiest answer. We fly around the Earth.
No, bro.
It's not that big, bro.
Bro, I'm not saying that. No, that's it. I'm not saying that.
You should be able to say that fucking 30,000
No, you need to answer the question. If you had something that was 100,000 times bigger than the Earth and you climbed over the ice wall, you would not be able to tell that there was a curve. Yes or no?
I like your stop. Let's stop right there. So you were saying that 50 miles.
50 miles.
Just say you can never see it. That's what he's saying. You can never see it.
260,000 feet.
If you saw the curvature of the Earth, would you? If you saw it with your own eyes, would you believe?
Absolutely.
You would. Okay.
Yes.
Here's the fucking challenge for all the flat earthers.
Yes.
Let's do this. This is a challenge.
We've already done it.
By the time this goes live, okay, the Virgin Galactic space plane goes up 53 miles up, so you would be able to see it.
Correct. That is why it goes 53 miles up.
It only costs $250,000 to go on as a ticket.
Only 250,000.
Yeah, if your guys are so bloody sure.
So wait, how high does it go?
53 miles.
At the end of
It's about 270,000 feet.
I will be launching a Kickstarter. If you are so certain
Let's
of your
do it.
conviction in the flat Earth,
I'll do that. I'll get into that. I'll get into that easily.
Okay, so
you
And now, look at there. Look out.
send Jon Zherka
Yeah.
into space.
That's the thumbnail. And look how pathetic it is that they need 250,000 to prove it's all.
How about this?
You need 250.
How about that?
All this cost me-
You guys got it. Hey, look here. How pathetic is it that they could turn all of science on its head if they just went up one time? They could turn all the science on its head. All they had to do was go to Antarctica. They had to fly up.
All you got to do is spend 20,000.
All they had to do is go to Antarctica, get a drone, and fly it over as far as you can. You can fly those drones 50, 60 miles in, and you'll see nothing but fucking ice because Antarctica.
So obvious it's a ball.
No,
You're right.
I never said that. I never said it was obvious about you.
Wait. If I was arguing, Glenn, hold on, Glenn. If I was arguing for square or triangle Earth, he would wipe the floor with me. Why is an astrophysicist losing to me? Because of the truth defends itself. First page of Genesis, there's a firmament.
Genesis. I'm losing because of Genesis. I'm not. First off, I'm not. No. Second of all, you're trying to win because of Genesis.
No. I'm saying that literally it's an attack on the Bible. Again, I didn't even use the Bible to win. I used scientific method.
You haven't used anything. Yeah, I just gave you the Bible. Okay, that's number one. Number two, every time you're losing.
Carl said I beat you in that one clip.
The
Catholic debate. I'll show you.
Every single time you know you're gonna lose a point, you just lose it, and then you're just gonna
no, because you're forgetting. Peanut points don't convince me.
Again, you say it's a peanut point. The southern hemisphere is not a peanut.
Give me a potato point.
Right here we
Give me the why is the Earth round?
Here we go.
Potato.
Here we go.
Round belt. 3 verse 1. Look at these boys, bro. 3 verse 1. This is fucking easy. Not for me. This is not a Jon.
No, I don't.
Come here, Glenn. 3 verse 1. Pull up your chair. He needs backup.
Again, you're Jon Zherka. You're so.
We got the moderator trying to win. We got a 3 verse 1, and I'm wiping the floor with them. You. Hey, we're not editing any of this. Editing is illegal.
Why would we edit any of this? You're not winning.
3-1. This 3 verse 1. We got the moderator heated. Hit it, Vlad. No, put your face on camera if you're gonna do it. Put your face on camera if you want to be tough.
Like this question. If we raise the money.
Yes. 100% yes.
On the Virgin.
One. And you'll never do it. You'll never do it.
We'll go up with them. we get over 250, if we make more, if you guys want to send both like and then we'll do that too. Okay, we will get.
And you should
to go on Virgin Galactic and send both of these guys.
And while you're at it, you can also raise money since we've only dug 8 miles deep, but he believes there's a mantle of stuff. How deep have we dug? Like, you believe in a core, right? You haven't even poked through the crust. You believe in that shit.
But where do volcanoes come from? I'm just curious.
Right. Because I can't explain. Because I can't explain volcanoes. There's a fucking core. Give me a break.
I didn't say there was a core, but you can't explain volcanoes.
Assume if I got.
This is so.
Hey, why is the sky blue?
This is so.
Ready?
Ready? Here's why the sky is blue. The sun,
Nitrogen, hydrogen.
The sun emits light, and the sun emits light towards the Earth. The atmosphere, O3, absorbs red. The spectrum is red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Blue, indigo, and violet are absorbed by the atmosphere, which is why the sky is blue. And the red, orange, yellow is the color we see of the sun. So thank you very much.
If you believe
that's
so, is everything
that
chemicals?
dunks a 50. That dunks a 50 right there.
Is everything chemicals?
I mean, everything's.
Do you love your girlfriend because of dopamine chemical fire?
Oh, bro, see, you see.
I want to know.
Why do you sound effects for when he changes the subject?
No. This is a 1 second. This is a 1 second change. Would you ever look into your girlfriend's eyes and say, "Honey, I just love you because it's a chemical reaction"? You're a scientist. It's a chemical.
This is a neurochemical response. I think it's both.
You think there's a spiritual connection?
We're going to get into Christianity later if you want to, because I'm going to surprise you.
Well, I'm not leaving. This is a million clips.
Let's go. Ready? All right, here we go. So the thing that I was going to ask you about before is...
Yes, we'll be sending those...
Wait. You never answered, do you believe that the compass is a flat earth instrument?
The compass it goes on lines of magnetation.
You didn't say
it aligns the...
I need a yes or no. I'm not Hillary Clinton, bro.
It's a flat earth instrument? I don't think so. It's a flat earth instrument.
Where's the South Pole then?
The South Pole is opposite from the North Pole.
But you're making my flat earth instrument argument.
Why? No, because it's split. You're making mine because we...
Can you look at a compass
and three different places in the southern hemisphere? You look to the south and you see the entire fucking sky rotate around one southern pole. You are making my point for me. There's one southern point.
Is there a compass that points south on Earth?
The compass. Okay, so you
just say no, bro. What the?
Okay, so
why do you want to humiliate yourself?
For those of you who are watching here, I'm not here to debate.
Can I ask Rollo?
I'm not here to debate. I'm here to educate. So here's what's happening. It is not pointing north or south. The compass aligns along a line of magnetation, which, by the way, can only magnetic north.
Yeah,
which, by the way, no, it points north and south. Which, by the way, only exists when you have a dynamo, which is because the core of the Earth is rotating at a different speed than the fucking crust, which is why there are lines of magnetation in the fucking first place. Okay. That is the point.
Thank you.
Now, going back to what I'm saying, it does not point north. It aligns with the lines of magnetation. And I can prove it. If we were to go up to where magnetic north is, where in Canada, if you were to get closer to it, you would start to see it changing direction very quickly. That's why we have magnetic variation. As pilots, every pilot here, even you just supposedly 50,000 flat earth pilots, you know what fucking lines of magnetation are, and there's magnetic variance because the North Pole is not the same as the magnetic North Pole. And why would that be? Why would there be a different magnetic North Pole than a North Pole if the Earth is fucking flat? And the answer is because it's a fucking dynamo.
Hey guys, don't talk. What the fuck?
It creates lines of magnetation.
Dude, don't let them do that. You're doing great. Why are you guys talking over him? He's fucking bleeding, bro. That's so fucking rude. Did you hear that too? Hold on. But hold on. After you said, Rollo, please. I'm about to. That whole thing you said, which was accurate, really begs the question: does Mike Sartain believe someone can invent a compass that points south?
No, yeah, you would.
Someone can do that on Earth?
Sure, you would take the.
Holy
you would take the other end of it, and it would go south. Because
time
out. Let's ask any of these guys. If you go to the southern hemisphere, does the compass still work?
Yes.
Thank you.
But it works pointing north. No, that's the point.
You're so far away from the magnetic North Pole, and it still works.
But you're saying a Chinese lady can build a compass that points south. That's your argument.
It's not pointing north. It's aligning with the line of magnetation. By the way, here's a real mind fuck if you guys want to do this. If you go north of the magnetic north, but you're still south of the North Pole, it points south. What the fuck? You can look it up for yourself because magnetic north is different from true north, and that's something we learned.
Okay, but I just want it simple. Can someone build that compass?
But you need it simple because this stuff doesn't make sense to you.
do.
Michelson-Morley, you just
You're
gave
not
up.
politically correct to lie.
I got an experiment. Tristan, I usually go flush the toilet and tell me which way the water.
Yeah, that's the next.
Oh, that's why you believe it. Yo, check this out, Chad. Rollo believes because of toilet water, that's why it's a globe. That's the great. Yo, that's bigger than flat Earth. That's gonna get more views than flat Earth.
How about what? I'm just curious. I'm not.
Wait, why are you saying these are toilet water? Why do you believe?
I'm not using this as a proof. But why do hurricanes spin in one direction on your inside circle, but they spin in another direction in your outside circle?
I guess because it's a globe.
No, I'm asking you.
I don't know. I've never.
This is 5 times. This is 5 times.
I didn't prepare for tornado.
We're gonna call him Ray Guide. How much he fucking punts, bro?
Wait,
this is the
why
Ray
are
Guide
tornadoes gray?
pump. Does he pump?
Why are tornadoes like gray?
Some of them are blue gray. It just depends if the sun's up or not.
No, really? You're actually gonna answer that seriously?
It depends if the sun's up or not. Yeah, so it has to do with cloud. It's just water condensation.
Dude, why are tornadoes gray? You said that for the sky. You said a detailed answer for the sky.
They change color.
I don't know. It's irrelevant. That's what I make. The point is, you're asking retarded shit like, hey, why is the rainbow gray? Zherka doesn't know, therefore he lost.
Again,
It's like
things that prove my point are irrelevant. Things that prove his point.
no, imagine if Zherka.
Bro, it's Genesis. These fucking bitches are whores because of Genesis, and the moon is plasma. Which, by the way, goes to my next point.
It's cosmic plasma.
The moon is cosmic plasma. Do you know what plasma is? Can you describe plasma?
No, but check this out. Get out of your system. Hold on.
What is cosmic plasma?
Hold on, dude.
What is plasma?
Check this out. The point I'm making is in the 1960s, when the scientific consensus was that the moon is cosmic plasma, they'll never land astronauts on it. That's why the moon is translucent. That's why you can see stars. You can literally see stars through the moon during the day. I'm going to post the video.
Okay.
The moon is translucent. You can't put your foot on it.
So
it's a luminary.
My question to you. So there's a couple of problems.
Hold on. After the star one, how come you?
There's a couple of problems.
How come you can
can't
see stars
to the moon?
So when I posted, well, that's a NASA video.
You can't see stars to the moon.
But I'm going to grab that video from NASA.
But I said, but you're not seeing stars to the moon. You're seeing atmospheric compression of like 2 different objects over each other. You admit when the sun is setting, it's compressed by the atmosphere, and that's why it looks different. That's what you're seeing with the star.
Would that be the perspective argument? Like the sun that's setting is
relativity?
The sun moving into like the train tracks in one spot. That's what you're saying. There's a balance.
No. I'm not. No. Again, I'm not allowing you to use these arguments. That I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Like
wait. Earlier you said we'll get back to this.
You both can answer.
Remind me, son.
So when you have a full moon, when it first moon rises, it looks giant, fucking gigantic.
Yeah.
Right? And then,
it's reddening of the atmosphere.
Later, it looks much smaller. So you explain that how you.
Okay, so straight up, it's 60 miles. Straight up, it's 60 miles of atmosphere, so it's less refraction near the end. It's 60 miles times whatever angle you're going through. So let's just say that's Pahrumps over here. So it's going to be Vegas atmosphere plus Pahrump atmosphere plus Mesquite atmosphere.
It's not just that; it's also dander, chemtrails, all sorts of things in the atmosphere.
I don't know about chemtrails.
You don't believe in chemtrails, and you're not a military guy.
I'm saying
you don't believe in chemtrails. You're a military guy.
I'm saying. For reddening of the moon, I don't think.
So what are chemtrails?
But we're not doing this.
Bro, you got a business to defend.
You see what he's doing?
I just want to know if you believe in it, or am I a schizo? You believe in it.
You are a schizo.
What is your answer for why the moon looks bigger at one point?
Same answer. Yeah.
Atmospheric reddening, the flat earthers believe.
But there are such thing as red moons, and when you think of it, right? Well, hold on. We'll go to that in a second. But if you shine a light on a basketball, you get a spotlight, but the moon is filled. When it's full, it's filled from edge to edge, proving it's its own light source. It's not reflecting shit.
Then why do you have shadows on it?
Why do you have shadows on the moon?
Why is there a dark side of the moon?
Why is there a dark side of the moon? Hold on.
Isn't that where the aliens came from?
Yes.
No.
Must be.
Wait. Here's what's funny. Glenn, are you the third guy after? Hold on. This is getting crazy, bro.
I'm not talking about the backside of the moon.
Hold on. What's funny is you guys believe in aliens. Admit it. You guys believe in aliens.
They're not here. I don't believe that aliens are here.
Hit me.
All right. Since you're going to go Bible on it, why does Isaiah 40:22 cite the circle of the earth? Why does Proverbs 28 also references the earth's circularity? Why does Psalms 23 also refers to the circle of the earth's
Ready to get humiliated, Glenn? Ready? Repeat that. Ready? Because the circle is fucking flat. You got destroyed. You admit he got destroyed. Admit it. That's the third player. You're done, Glenn. Mute, Glenn.
Spherical earth, then from the death of the
Says a spherical earth.
Oh yeah. What about the four? Jesus has shown the four wings of the earth. Four wings.
winds of the Euphrates rivers, also in Revelations.
Bro, you're actually a Christian
This is
that believes
conjecture.
in Helios worship?
That God created the world with the Big Bang.
Helios is Lucifer, dude. It's your sun worship. That's why these guys are nihilists.
Okay. Listen, first of all, I'm not a nihilist, but let's keep going.
Do you have faith? So I don't know about.
I'll come on your show and we'll talk about Christianity. Listen, the plasma. So it's would you said it was a cosmic plasma?
No, I didn't say that. 1960s scientific consensus that the moon was.
Again, it was not a consensus that the moon was plasma.
I'm going to put the clip to make you look stupid right here.
Here's the thing that's going to happen. By the way, one clip does not show 1960s consensus.
Yeah, what if it's one of the most famous scientists?
Here we go. So here's what happens. There's two problems. Number one, if it's plasma, do you understand what plasma is? It's a fourth state of matter where you excite all of the electrons off of there, so it's extremely fucking hot. Which means there would be no dark side of the moon. Why is it when we have a half moon, one side's dark and one side's light? If it was plasma, it would be blindingly bright. You said it's its own light source, so why is there a dark side of the moon?
Because I'm not God. But check this out.
Oh no, wait, you God, you can see the light side. Why can't you see the dark side?
The moon fills up from the month cycle where it's charging.
Fills up.
Yes.
So you're saying that the other side is dark because it hasn't filled up.
There is no other side because you've never seen the other side of the moon because you say it's turning with the earth. You fucking lost again.
No, what do you mean?
Do you say,
No.
wait, the dark side of the moon?
You're saying the far side.
We can see the dark side of the moon.
Far side.
Which far side?
You're confusing far side with dark side.
Right.
Far side of the moon we've never seen because the moon.
That's right. You better do that.
Well,
you better do that.
Mike Collins has seen it, but the
Mike Collins has seen it?
Yeah, Mike Collins has seen it.
He wouldn't even say that he went to the moon on a Bible.
No, you're talking about Neil Armstrong. Mike Collins was running
The other astronaut that lied that they ambushed him with the Bible to say, swear you went to
That's
the moon.
Neil Armstrong. It's not.
No, they did it to all the astronauts.
Another question.
Okay, I really got to finish.
Knocking them out of the
I
park.
really got to finish this. The plasma, even if the plasma wasn't charged, which is ridiculous because that's not how plasma works, what would happen is you would be able to see it easily. So now, here's my next question.
Hold on. You said when charged and electrons, do you believe that the universe is electromagnetic?
Part of it is I think there's four fundamental forces. Flat earthers only believe in two.
But if everything in the universe is electromagnetic, why are the stars? Ours, in our model, they're electromagnetic. In yours, they're burning balls of gas in a vacuum.
Yep.
If everything's electromagnetic, why do you switch it up there? Why do you switch it up there where you can't go?
You're saying it's electromagnetic. So what do you think you don't think gravity is real?
Well, what part of the universe is not electromagnetic?
Gravity. So and we're going to go over we're going to go over
the math model.
We're going to go over it real quick. Ready? So everyone follow along with me. And by the way, I'm going to put a link to this video in there if you want to go.
Gravity is their big G. That's their God.
So big G or little g. Forget gravity. We're going to go over your model, which is this supposed Richard Feynman experiment that allows for there to be a downward pull because of electromagnetism. You said electromagnetism.
I don't even know that.
Okay, but you don't believe in gravity, and all flat earthers either believe.
But because I don't believe in gravity, you can't ascribe to me a position that I
do. Do you see this? Like this guy just scored.
Because you don't believe in gravity, you gotta believe you're on a turtle mat.
What do you believe? What do you believe? I'm going to sit down before.
No.
Where is it? Oh, okay, ready, got it. Okay, so
I'm saying I don't know.
I'm going to do this for my own.
It's alien.
This is not against you. I'm going to do this on my own. Ready? This idea that flat earthers have that somehow there is an electromagnetic charge that pulls us to the ground. This is what Whitsitt believed.
Okay, then I believe it. Whitsitt, go.
So here's what happens. If I were to take paper filings and I were to take a balloon, if I drop the paper filings, they fall down. If I drop the balloon, they fall down. If I then take the
balloon falls down.
The balloon. It's not a balloon of helium. It's a balloon of ambient air. Okay? The balloon falls down. The balloon falls down.
No. When you said balloon, can you give us a helium balloon for this one?
No.
Why not?
No, because I'm trying to make your point for you. Ready? So here we go. Wow. So we take the.
Maybe get a balloon with rocks then.
We take the balloon and we fill it with ambient air. It goes down. Now I take the same balloon and I rub it on a carpet or I rub it on my head and I put it over the paper filings, and the paper filings stick to the balloon.
So why is the helium balloon right?
Here's the thing. So now here's the problem. Either the balloon is positively charged and the paper filings are negatively charged, or the paper filings are positively charged and the balloon is negatively charged. Either way, one of them is the same charge as the Earth. But when I drop the balloon, it falls again, even after I have the paper filings.
So isn't this kind of like a peanut truth?
There is no possible way that electromagnetism pulls all of us to the ground, because some of us have positive charges and some things have negative charges. So the whole idea of electromagnetism,
something else.
No, that's what it's either that. Listen, I know.
Why does it have to be that?
Because I know more about flat Earth than you do. So here's the thing.
Clearly you don't.
You're
doing worse than Destiny.
The thing is, the two beliefs that they have is, one, that the entire plane goes up at 9.81 meters per second squared, which is ridiculous because after a year you're going the speed of light. And then the second belief is that there's some electromagnetic force that's coming down, because you have to discount gravity. Because if you don't discount gravity, then the regular model of physics makes sense. And nuclear fusion is not burning. What you're thinking of burning is a catalyst, a fire by a fucking lamp, by logs, where you burn it and you're combining oxygen with fucking carbon, and then you make carbon dioxide. That's not burning. What we're talking about is actually nuclear fusion, which is an exothermic reaction. That's a different kind of burning that we're talking about. And yes, that will happen in a vacuum. And you do believe in nuclear fusion, correct?
Wait, how does that
not happen, or is that not awesome?
If you're in a rocket flying through the medium of space, the vacuum, how do you change directions? What if a boat pushes off water and they're playing off of atmosphere?
Such a great question.
What the fuck are they pushing off of in a vacuum?
Such a great question. You're either leaving fuel behind, or you're actually condensing two materials and shooting it out the side. You have to leave something behind. Tons of gases. You can mix gases and you have a catalyst.
So you're telling me the wrong shit?
You know this is real. You've seen a fire. You've seen a fire. A fire is a combination.
Not in a vacuum.
No, but you've seen a fire which is a combination between oxygen and carbon dioxide.
That's in our atmosphere.
Correct. But if I do that and if I put two gases together, like say hydrogen and oxygen, and I have a catalyst, then it will jettison out particles, which will third law of Newtonian physics. For every action, there's an equals and opposite reaction. I have to leave something behind. What I'm leaving behind is matter that's from those tanks, that liquid fuel.
So
I can run with a can of hairspray.
Yes.
Rollo, is he convincing you that it's a globe right now? Be honest.
I'm already.
That's not an answer, and I needed that clip. Thank you. Thank you. I needed that. I needed the uncertainty.
This too, because this just did. Okay. Okay. So this is Proverbs from the Christian Bible. Proverbs 8:27. Compass. Since we were talking about compasses for a while. Compass, Hebrew, is the same word as circle in Isaiah 40:22, as well as compassed in Job 26:10. And all three clearly refer to the roundness of the earth, especially the spherical nature of the sea level, defining as
sea level.
shape.
All right, you guys are embarrassing yourselves. Rollo, I gotta destroy him. You heard where he fucked up. Don't protect him. Don't save Rollo. Look at him, save Rollo. Don't save him.
The word level has 2 meanings. Stop it. The word level. Okay, if I understand, stop. If a building is off of its foundation, it is not level. And it has stop talking. If a building has 2 floors and it's off its foundation, it is not level, but it has 2 levels. It is off its level, but it has 2 levels. He has misinterpreted the word.
That's not what I was talking about. Level. He said a different word.
Sea level refers to the altitude. The sea level refers to the altitude of the sea, not the fucking flat.
I'm not talking about level right now.
Okay, what are you talking about?
You didn't catch what he said?
What? Oh, the circle thing? Whatever.
It's a circle of sphere?
He said it's
a circle of sphere. He's convinced a circle.
It says sphere in the Bible.
Rollo,
it says sphere in the Bible.
It's flat. It's a circle.
It says sphere
Rollo doesn't even know what a circle is.
It says sphere in the Bible. It says sphere in the Bible.
Give me a sphere. No, give me a sphere. Give me a sphere. You read it.
A sphere in the Bible.
No,
you said spherical.
You said sphere. And
now you make me do some work. Want to read that?
Yeah, can you highlight the word? That circle, Rollo, you don't know what a circle is? The circle is fucking flat.
I'll read.
What the hell?
All three clearly refer to the roundness of the earth, especially the spherical nature of sea level.
Yeah, because all water seeks its level, because it's flat.
It doesn't make it flat. That is because of gravity. What?
Isaiah 40:22.
Glenn, you better be on a mic. Is he on a mic?
Yeah, he's on mic.
Isaiah 40:22. The word in the Hebrew is, or the word in question is kum, which is also found in Job 22:14, which in many versions is translated as bolt. For example, the New American Standard Bible reads, "The clouds are hiding places for him, so that he cannot see. He walks on the bolts of heaven." Clearly, bolt carries the sense of something three-dimensional and is given as a primary meaning of cope.
It's a coat.
Oh, he's reading Google. He's not even reading scripture anymore. You're reading Google. Can you please cut it when you're done scripture? But you're saying the explanation. Read scripture and stop. Don't disrespect God. What the fuck? You read scripture and then start reading the website's opinion? What the fuck? And hold on. Just do it again, but do it like honestly. Do it in good faith. No, you start reading the article. Why did you do that? And then it's my turn with the Bible. I'll go with scripture.
Okay.
I'm going to nuke it. He knows where I'm going.
This is where you're going to win me over. Let's go.
No, I'll never win you guys over because it changes your worldview. That's a trauma to you, Rolo. You're not going to be traumatized right now because then you have to start coming towards scripture. You don't want to do that. You guys want to fuck bitches and do red pill shit. You guys, they're never going to come this way. And you're doing it. You have a one wife. You're living correct.
It is he who sits above the circle of the earth, and its inhabitants like a grasshopper. He can stretch out the heavens like a curtain and spread them all.
That's the firmament. Exactly, the firmament. You're saying he's talking. That makes my point for me. Stretches it out like a curtain. That's the firmament of the stars. And how are you a Christian don't believe in a firmament? And speaking of, continue so I can keep doing this.
It's hilarious, bro.
We're going to need more astrophysicists for the next one. Bring 10 more. Hold on. Can I go to a part of scripture real quick? I'll go in 2 seconds. Werner von Braun, the creator of the rocket, on his tombstone left Psalms 19:1. Read 19:1, and then you can start coping. The inventor of the rocket left on his tombstone the Bible's firmament dome because he knew it's flat. Operation Fishbowl Dominic that he thought he debunked.
There were no missiles fired.
And here you go.
Any of those.
That's his tombstone. Where do you think that's going to the Bible? Is that going to the dome? When you open a Sprite, it goes, psst. That's a pressurized system. That's a pressurized system.
No missiles fired during any of those nuclear tests. They all are up in one.
Psalm 91?
Yes.
All right. The heavens proclaim the glory of God. The skies display his craftsmanship.
And show it. His handiwork. There's more.
His craftsmanship.
The point is, it's when you said spread like a curtain, what does that mean to you guys? A gas curtain? Like, what the fuck?
Bro, I'm not sitting here to debate the Bible. We can have.
You brought it up. He's your guy.
I didn't bring
That's
up.
your Glenn is your buddy.
I didn't bring up the
You
Bible.
guys are 3 verse 1 and you lose it. You need that.
Let's get back to the whole thing here. Let's get back to the whole thing here. Okay. Real quick, can you pull up a UN map for me, real quick? Well, UN flag. Pull that up.
Or Meteorological Association, Maritime for navigating the waters, and UN all have the same map, and the map leaked. I leaked on my Twitter. The map was found hanging in a United Nations building, and for some funny reason, it was identical to the first.
Can you show a UN map on the thing real quick?
Biblical clock.
No, I need a flat Earth. I'm sorry, flat Earth. I need a UN flag. A UN flag. I need a UN flag.
Are you guys gonna have visuals on the debate?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think
one other thing. I just want to point this out really quick. You have maybe you've been fooled. I don't know if this is the case. Probably is. The statement of Tesla saying that the Earth is a realm is not true. You know, that statement.
Do you want me to post it?
That you absolutely can. That's all inside. Delete it. That statement was.
What about when he said you can have free energy from cosmic ether?
One more time.
You don't believe in the stars? Hold on. You believe in? Hold on.
One more time. One more time. Before we get to that, one more time. The thing about the Earth being a realm was attributed to a meme that was a post that was a flyer that was put into a flat Earth Facebook group in 2016. It is not true. In fact, they even contacted the Tesla Museum in Serbia. That statement never happened.
They're known liars.
But he's also
There's
Serbian.
an Albanian here.
He's Serbian. Anyway, the point is he never made that statement. You should probably move away from that one. He never said the Earth was around.
When Tesla said,
Here we go.
when Tesla said, like, you guys believe we're solar capsules, like we get vitamin D from the sun and all that?
Yeah, it helps us create cholesterol. Yeah.
So if you believe then you get it from the sun, why not the stars as well?
I don't know. Here we go. Ready? Here's the thing. Can you
Yeah,
show
how
me-
many sections is that divided into? Is that
can you
33?
can you
Is
show me
that
33?
33 Masonic Federal Reserve and Treasury
This is so great. This is so great because this
He's
is
already
like
started with a Freemason.
he literally threw the fucking alley-oop for me to dunk on.
And I'll post
Ready?
on my Twitter
Beautiful.
the Freemason
Beautiful.
flag that Buzz Aldrin put on the moon.
Beautiful. Ready? Here we go. Here we go. Show me the 33 lines.
That's 33 sections. 1, 2, 3. You want to go over?
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Show me the 33 lines. This is one of the most incredible things that you guys sit here and listen to him say. There are
Wait.
33 Masonic lines on this flag,
You got
and
40?
no one checks.
You got
Ready?
40?
Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But here we go. Ready? We'll go right here. It's not 33. There's no way to find 33 in there. He said that there are 33 Masonic lines, not spaces, 33 Masonic lines on the UN flag. No one fucking checked him on this. It was the most crazy shit I've ever seen. It took 5 seconds for me to look this up.
Isn't that 33 thing like Gary the numbers?
Yes, it's exactly the same thing.
You don't believe in it? You don't think Freemasons have power on it?
Maybe they do, but that's not my point. My point was,
But hold on. Was Buzz Aldrin an admitted Freemason?
I don't care. I'd make sure that's for me.
You don't
It
care
doesn't make
about
no-
this?
look, my argument about the Earth being flat or round has nothing to do with even humans being on the Earth. It is a function of geometry.
But wouldn't it be a
It's
deception?
geometry and no.
Wouldn't it be a Masonic deception?
Sure, but then it's a coincidence. What you're
It's a
doing,
coincidence. All astronauts are Freemasons?
what you're doing is conjecture, and what I'm doing is showing evidence. And when I show evidence, you go, okay, I'll give you that point, but that's a peanut point. Even a peanut point that breaks down your entire model, like the idea that we can see the Southern Cross from 3 places in the Southern Hemisphere when we're facing south.
That's not a peanut point. That's a bigger one.
That is the end of the argument.
That's your only good point.
No, it's not. Okay, ready? Here's the
that's
next one. Ready? The moon. You think that the moon is cosmic plasma, right? How far away is the moon from us? Remember?
What did they say, 240,000?
No. How do you think? How far do you think?
I don't know. I'm Zherka.
Okay.
I fuck bitches and teenagers.
See, again, do you see how we,
mean, 18-year-olds
we change gears?
Because I read your book, Rational Male.
We change gears. All right, so the flat Earth, not consensus, but most of them, am I seeing, it's about 4,000 miles away, 3,900
That's what they
miles
say?
away. Yes, they believe, and there is, no, one more time, flat Earth model. Again, I know more of flat Earth than you do, dude. I'm telling you.
What did he say?
He said from the Earth to the moon in a globe model is 38,900 miles.
No, Mike, you know why Mike is good? Because he's literally asked to think of the heliocentric version and the geocentric at the same time.
Yes.
So he's way better than Destiny or anyone. The problem is, you don't want to answer some questions. Destiny,
I will at the end.
the on one setting you have to answer.
So here's the problem. So here's the issue. So now, no matter what, this is another place where this completely breaks down. There has to be a finite distance that light travels. Has to be. What you guys say, what Winston says is, I'm not super.
What about light?
Light has to travel a finite distance. There's no way.
Does it travel parallel? Do light rays travel parallel? Yes or no?
If you have something big enough, then
Oh, it's always got to be outside of your realm of existence.
so, like,
if
for
it's big enough to where we can never test
here it is.
then light starts doing
So look at this big soft light right here. Inside of the soft light, those are parallel lines, but there are lines that are not parallel that are outside. So meaning like
you can trace the lines from the sun in the sky to one point. That's what Freemasons did with a square and compass.
I don't know what that has to do with this argument, but one more time, while I'm asking the question, there has to be if we're on a disk, and in the disk you have two. This is the flat Earth model. There's
Disk
the
with
sun.
no space.
There's the sun.
Stars are fixed on a dome.
Totally, I'm going with you on that. But above it, the sun. For those of you who don't know, the sun and the moon float over the disk, and they float during the summer.
No. Some flat earthers say it's within the dome. Some say in between.
That's fine. I don't care. I don't care if it's by the way, some flat earthers don't think it's a dome. They think it's a superfluid. Anyway, the sun floats on the inside.
You know why they think it's a superfluid? Because the SpaceX rockets, they're splitting the watery sky. I'm going to post the video.
Okay, that's fine.
It's going to blow them away.
Okay, good. Ready. The sun during northern hemisphere summer, flat earthers believe that the sun goes around the inside circle.
So it's like this. It contracts like this.
And then during the winter, it goes around the outside circle, which there's some massive problems there because you still have one sun for an area that's 3 times bigger, which means South American winter would be 3 times colder than North American winter because you have one source to heat 3 times as much area.
Look in the flat Earth model. The cold areas are the middle of the ring, the north, and the southward ice.
That's fine, but that's the same thing for ours with the
No, it's not. You're just getting the sun is hitting the earth sideways. So how can you have a 24-hour sun if half the earth has to be casted in shade?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, really?
It doesn't.
You earlier you
We're
said
gonna show. We're gonna show.
So you believe in a
We're gonna show.
24-hour sun?
I don't care. It doesn't make any difference. My point is, if we're standing on the true North Pole and we're tilted towards there, and we're at some kind of elevation, like on a mountain, yes, I could see. Maybe you could see if there was no obstruction, you could see a 24-hour sun. Bro, that doesn't disprove anything, because the top of the
You're saying the sun's not hitting the
sun. The sun precesses like a dreidel. I know you hate them, but like you know what I'm saying. It precesses like that. If it's on there and it's facing towards the sun, no matter in all directions, you would see the sun during the whole day. It's possible as a 24-hour day. That doesn't disprove.
Of course it does.
No, it doesn't.
Which side of the earth is casted in shade?
One more time. What you would see up there is you would see the sun go around the horizon. If you were at the North Pole and you saw the sun go directly over, that would disprove it. But you don't. You see the sun go around the horizon for 24 hours.
No, but it doesn't go under. It literally goes like this.
It doesn't matter. Even if it doesn't, that's just your perspective on the surface of the North Pole.
Oh, it's perspective. Now you're joining our side.
In Antarctica, you wouldn't say, well, then how is there nighttime? You would admit.
When I saw a 24-hour sun and then it's banned off the algorithm, you can't search for it, but it's on ericdubay.com and buried. You said it's buried like the wits of flat earth. When I saw the flat earth 24-hour sun for the first time.
How do flat earthers then explain the equinoxes?
He knows better than that.
I know how they did it, and it doesn't make sense, because what happens is when it's a 24-hour day, when it's in the outside ring, the sun has to go 3 times faster. You remember the pi 3 times 1.14.
It does left the moon though, right?
So the area that it's going, it has to go 3 times faster. The problem is the surface area is also 3 times as much, and the sun doesn't get 3 times hotter. So what happens is winters in Antarctica should be like Arctic. Winters in Australia should be like 40 degrees below zero during the summer in the northern hemisphere, because it's receiving so little sunlight. That's the problem. From a thermodynamics perspective, there's no way, because you have 3 times as much surface area in the outer ring of flat Earth than you do in the inner ring. So that's why it doesn't work. Here's the problem. The other issue is flat earthers believe that electromagnetism is what holds the sun and the moon, and the sun and the moon are at the same altitude, and they're floating around each other like this, okay? And they just go around each other. They can't explain. How do you explain eclipses? I'm just wondering. How do you explain eclipses? Well, they're on the same side of the Earth. The sun and the moon on the same side of the Earth.
The black sun cannot be explained, right? That there's a third entity, the Rahu.
Okay, so do you think there's a third entity? Got it.
No. The ancient Mayans would talk about a black sun during an eclipse, right? Because the moon literally fades translucent, then transparent, and literally, depending on which eclipse, no flat earther can explain what's happening. All we are seeing is it's not bigger than the moon. You have to admit.
What do you mean?
The sun, 93 million miles. It's just so far away.
It is so
far. It's so far away, but it's so big that it actually perfectly eclipses. It's just a golden.
Right. Okay,
that's the biggest fucking bullshit I've ever heard.
We have one object that. So you guys can do some math here. You can do your own math and do your own do the calculations on your own. One object is 238,000 miles away, and the other object is 93 million miles away.
The sun is 93 million, and the moon's right here.
Yes, correct. So
and it perfectly eclipses.
Yeah.
Are you like?
Yeah, so
our models are yin and yang.
Right. In your model, why are they the same size then? Who made them the same size? Because in your model, they're exactly.
You're asking me, why did God do that?
There we go.
That's the fucking dumbest question.
I want to make sure.
In yours, let me finish. Glenn, let me answer. They keep cutting me off, bro. Yo, hold on. No, I'm gonna forget. Glenn, let me answer. He said, why? I said, big G. When I asked him, he said, big G is fucking gravity. He has the same mirrored answer. It's too stupid to realize.
What are you talking about?
You say it's gravity, that's why it's so much bigger. Oh, the sun is just like, that's you are explaining it like you're a religion. You don't even realize what's happening. You're saying gravity, you're big God. I'm saying God.
Oh, come on.
It's literally not answering why it's bigger.
You're confused. We're having a flat Earth versus round Earth debate.
But I asked earlier, why is the sun bigger? You said because of gravity.
That means if you are arguing the flat Earth side, you get to invoke Genesis and I get to invoke physics. How is that against the rules? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Because it doesn't explain how the sun's bigger. How did that explain it?
Because it's got more mass.
Holy shit.
I don't understand.
You want me to read what all day? Oh, the answer?
Why does it? Wait. Why does it have more mass?
Because during the creation of the solar system, it just has more mass.
Why? Oh, it just has more mass. That's great. Say that on camera. It just has. You can't explain it because you're answering God made it that way. That's what you're saying. Because it just has more mass.
But we see celestial bodies that are multiple different sizes.
But why is it bigger? Why is the sun?
Why is Ganymede bigger than fucking Mercury? It happens.
Exactly.
It's a coagulation of fucking things.
But why is it a coagulation?
No, my point is...
Because when you peel the onion, you come to me.
My point is, Mike, your answer is no more better than mine.
And I'm crying. He's not getting it. The onion is too much.
And number two, it's actually not the same size. It's almost the same size.
But why?
You can actually... It's smaller. It's not... But
why?
It's coincidence.
But why?
It's smaller. The moon...
But why is it...
The diameter of the moon is smaller than the diameter of the sun.
Why? Why is
it? It's random, just like what
random.
You're saying it's
I'm saying God. He's saying random. It's like he doesn't get what's happening. You're going to be humiliated.
No, you don't know what's happening. Your answer is not better than mine. Your answer is the
yours is that God of random.
No,
mine is Christ.
Okay, that's fine.
So when
hey, will you real quick? Will you point to me the Bible verse? Will you point to me the Bible verse where it says that God made the sun and the moon the same fucking size? Dude, no, you're sitting there invoking it.
No, I'm saying
after the fact. I'm saying it's
from scripture. I never said it's from scripture.
Because that's not scripture.
Because I can't answer it. I can't answer God's gnosis. That's the point. You can't either.
What an incredible...
Why is the sun larger? Because it is, John. I might start in because it is.
I can't...
That's not good enough for me, bro.
No, I said because of gravity.
Imagine if he asked me, if he said, why do they perfectly eclipse? I go, because they do. He would fucking chop me up. He wouldn't laugh. You know, you got to bet in Silver Slam. I got to go. I'm saying that's so unfair. Wait, Rolo, is that fair? Because it is a fair answer?
No, I said because of gravity, because of coagulation of matter.
On biblical reasoning here. Okay, let's see.
No, I'm not. I won with scientific method.
The scientific method gave you 33 lines on that flag?
Listen up.
I'll post that over.
Line after I read this, okay? Does the book of Genesis or some other book of the Bible say the earth is flat? Answer.
All of them.
The Bible does not say that the earth is flat. There are some common idioms that the Bible uses that, if taken literally, might give the impression that it is claiming that the earth to be flat, but idioms are not meant to be taken literally. After all, if you tell me something outrageous and I say, you're pulling my leg, am I accusing you of physical assault or accusing you of telling it?
Now I get the answer? Please. I got it. Almost that. Let me play. This is the easiest question all day. Thank you.
Let me play.
Okay, but when you land it, do you account for curvature? Fuck no.
One such example of this expression is the four corners of the earth. I think you already brought
or motion.
This idiom is used only when expressing how far something is to travel. Revelations 28. 20.
Oh, one at a time, Rolo.
Or to emphasize the vastness of something. Isaiah 11:12. This phrase is also used simply as an expression of north, south, east, and west.
He's bored, so it doesn't matter.
No, when I answer the first sentence, he's going to be humiliated. Rolo, you're going to be a meme when I answer.
Then let me build up. Let me build up humiliation.
But there's the whole. Okay, play the circus music.
Even in biblical context, people usually travel with a flat map that had four corners. If you were to travel to places designated by the four corners of the map, that would indicate you are traveling all over the map. But it is still not an attempt to state a fact about the shape of the earth. Another common idiomatic Bible expression is the ends of the earth, but once again, it is an expression of great distance and not an attempt as a factual statement. The reality is that most ancient peoples knew the earth was a sphere. The only question was how large that sphere was. The idea of the Bible teaching that the earth is flat gained traction only in the fundamentalist movement in the 19th.
Oh my God, 19th century? Yes, please.
Where did you read that from? Where did I read that from? From
COVID.com.
Oh, from CatholicAnswers.com.
And now check this out. Yes. Who invented his heliocentric model? The Vatican. He doesn't even know it's a Jesuit priest who takes a Jesuit oath, not a Catholic oath. We already know this. You're getting humiliated.
Galileo.
No.
Galileo.
Rolo, now you get humiliated. You say Rolo.
Galileo.
Look
just making this up. It's just making. Hey guys, stop the video. Look it up. It was Galileo. He's just making this up. Go ahead.
Sure, we'll post it. But what's the first stuff you read?
He's talking about Giordano Bruno. That's not the person who invented the heliocentric model. It was Galileo proved the heliocentric model.
Hold on. Glenn, you're not even in this. Was Galileo a Freemason?
I have no idea. I don't care. It doesn't make any difference.
I don't care. Okay.
No, here's the reason why I don't care.
And it's homosexual.
Here's the reason why I don't care if Galileo was a Freemason.
And you know what they're talking
because
about? Protecting right now.
Because I blah blah blah. No,
I have no
moon is fake. Blah blah blah.
Man, you guys can defend.
No, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
I took a note. I took a note of what he said.
You guys got humiliated. Wait a second. You guys are going to get humiliated.
Let's look. He read it from the Catholic.
Okay, Glenn, are you serious? I answered you. I told you Jesuits are not Catholics. Get there faster.
Okay.
I told you Jesuits are not Catholics.
Here we go, guys.
They take a different
I don't care about any of that. Listen, the reason why I believe what Galileo did, and I don't care what his name was or when he was born, is because I can take a telescope myself. Everyone called me on this. Everyone can go buy a telescope.
You can see the boat go under the curve.
And you can look at Jupiter just like Galileo did, and you can
look at a light in the sky and say it's Jupiter.
You can visually see the 4 moons. You can visually see with a cheap telescope. You can see them.
You can see lights in the sky.
One more time. You can see Jupiter just like Galileo did. You can see it on your own. If you don't believe me, if you are such a
you can see Mars too. What's your point?
If you are such a fucking coward that you will not do this on your own, to look through a telescope on your own and then say, "Oh no, bro, that must be CGI." No pictures.
No, I didn't say. Nobody says that. What a fucking. You know all of our arguments, and you're gonna snake me.
No.
No one has ever said it's CGI through a telescope. When you look up and you see a luminary, you're just seeing a luminary. When you go to NASA.com, it's all CGI.
That's my point.
He knows my argument, and he's trying to snake out of it.
That's my point.
You know my
exactly
argument.
my point.
You know my argument. You changed it.
You can't make the CGI argument when you look at pictures.
We don't make
Jupiter.
Mike, you don't make a CGI argument.
No.
We make a luminary argument.
I'm not saying.
Then it's just a fucking light in the sky.
You miss.
Just a light in the sky.
He's saying planets.
It's a celestial light.
Saying planets aren't real. Stop.
No, I didn't. Planets are real. They're lights. They're literally one.
They're luminaries.
Planet comes from the word wandering star. It means wanderer. He doesn't know that.
Of course I do. It's
Okay,
my notes. You want to see my notes?
It's a
Greek word for
planets are wandering stars that have a different path. Number 2, we make the argument that the planets are real. They're not your computer-generated Mars rover. You can step on the moon and the fucking.
Hold on, one more time. Go on yourself. Take a telescope and look at Jupiter, and you will see the 4 moons of Jupiter, and they orbit.
But we're telling you they're not moons, bro.
That's fine.
They're just lights.
I understand. My point is, all of your CGI arguments break down when you take a telescope yourself, and you can see these things.
There is no. This is my 4th time, and you're not getting it. There is no CGI argument when you involve
I agree with you. He's making my argument for me. He's making my argument for me. He's making my argument for me. He's making my argument for me.
We said CGI for when you explain the legend.
Forget Mike, but during this argument, I have not made one reference towards NASA. I'm not talking about that. My point is, if you want to disprove this nonsensical CGI argument,
there is no CGI.
I'm not saying
I didn't make a CGI argument.
CGI with a telescope. I'm saying any kind of CGI. All you have to do is look for yourself with a telescope. And
because you see 4 lights around Jupiter?
You don't see 4 lights. You can actually see them.
You can see the rock.
And they can go behind you. They can go behind them.
What does a planet look like through a telescope? Don't lie to them. You know that's a fucking burning light.
It looks like a rock. It looks like a rock.
It looks like gas.
Just like the moon does, which is supposedly a fucking superfluid plasma. The moon is supposedly.
You're saying Jupiter looks like a rock.
You're saying the moon looks like
a gas.
You're saying the moon looks like a plasma. The moon looks like
a lot closer.
One more time. Guys, take a look at the moon through a telescope and tell me it looks like a plasma.
You can see blue sky going through the moon. It's literally translucent. He's saying it's a rock.
No.
With blue sky.
That's it. One more time.
Holy shit. Wait, have you seen blue sky?
No, it doesn't go to blue sky does not go through the moon.
Half the moon is in blue. What the fuck? I'm going to post the clip.
As the leading expert.
Wait, I never got to humiliate you.
I'm waiting.
You the first. Glenn, you and Rolo forget that there's no old religions who believe in flat earth. All 3 Abrahamic faiths talk about the earth standing on pillars with a Sheol and a firmament. You're a liar.
Doesn't say it's flat.
No.
Doesn't say it's flat.
Look at the cope. So it's on pillars. You agree?
But it doesn't.
So did I not?
It's not.
But you said it. You invoke scripture to say it's a sphere.
I don't.
So admit you lost, and that's not a potato point.
I did.
That's a huge potato you lost.
I did.
That's why they were doing that filibuster.
I did.
I'll never forget. The biggest.
Yo, they're all these North American women are
Glenn,
fucking whores.
Glenn,
That's the reason why the moon is fake. The moon is fake, bro. The moon is fake, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not using the.
So if you're going to use scripture to say it's a sphere and you agree it's
I don't listen. I don't use scripture to say it.
No, but you got your buddy here to use.
No,
you got 3 verse 1. This is too easy.
No.
It doesn't say it's on pillars, Rolo.
I'll look it up.
Oh,
I don't care.
What does it? Is it on pillars,
Dude,
So when you attack me with
my point
scripture,
is, I don't.
No, the fucking scripture.
I don't.
Jesus is
I
Jesus.
don't care about the scripture. My point is, the scripture doesn't benefit you.
Then why
as much
bring
as
it up?
benefits you.
Why were you smiling
Because
when he was reading
because
it?
it cancels out. Because it cancels out.
No,
the scripture that says it's a sphere.
Why would
Because there's scripture that says it's a firmament, and scripture
So
that says
why
it's a sphere.
did you let-
There's scripture that says it's a firmament, and scripture that says.
So
it's
why
a
did
sphere.
you let him read it?
Cancels out. It cancels out.
So you know what
It's
you're
not
doing?
a point.
You're saying you're not on Rolo's team right now. Why are you letting him read
care
it?
about teams. I care about the truth.
Well,
We're
so
not-
you're running
there
Rolo
are there are 9 points.
Are you with Rolo?
Ready? Here we go.
He said,
after
this is
you-
not Rolo.
after you-
Why not get the? Wait, Glenn, he just threw Rolo.
Bro, I
into
need
the
to
turn.
start.
Do
Dude,
you
you
stand
have-
with Rolo?
Does anyone have Narcan for him? Does anyone have Narcan?
So he's stand with you abandon Rolo.
Do enough cocaine. I can't do enough cocaine to keep up with him.
It's so obvious it's a sphere. They're so winning.
I never said that.
And Glenn, you're a better friend. You.
Pillars of the earth.
Yes.
It's a poetic phrase that I do.
Oh, it's Shakespeare.
Looking at the use of the term in context sheds some light on what the pillars of the earth are. First, we should note the phrase itself is
Oh, in metaphor.
It's so great.
Really?
It's so great when he's getting dunked on. He goes, oh, "I'm doing great." It's a fucking iron sheik
And
here, bro.
astrophysicist
fucking
is
iron
using his voice with a bouncer.
Yes,
And
I
it's a
can't
truth
do-
defense.
I can't do enough cocaine. I can't do enough Adderall to fucking keep up with him. Ready? Here we go.
He can do
Next thing.
steroids, but not.
Here we go. Here we go.
Kidding me?
Now there are 9 retrofit reflectors on the surface of the moon, and the reason why we know this is because we can shine the
Shoot
laser
lasers
and they come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how is it that before 1969 we would shoot lasers up there and we would get an attenuated signal, but
How did I even know this?
but out of the 19, but here's the thing. Ready? One more time. Pause the video. You can look up the experiment, or you can go to your local astronomy department and shine a laser yourself, and you will get a light back in 2.2 seconds.
Why does water?
Which means 2 things. Number 1,
I agree. You can shoot the laser. I agree.
and it comes back. But why is
Yeah,
it?
you can also shoot it against anything else. That'll bounce.
It won't bounce back. It only bounces back in certain areas on the moon. It'll
Whitset
bounce
would
back.
destroy you here. Whitset would.
no.
You should debate Whitset.
For sure, I will.
Because
The problem is if Whitset was ever that disrespectful to me, I'd break his fucking jaw.
Why? What did he say?
What did he say? He says foul shit to people, bro. And
He
I'm like,
says Epsler.
no, he says stuff. No, I've seen in the video you did, like it was fine, but he's like, oh, okay, you got dunked on. Dude, you better not. He's not gonna say that shit in the same room with me. Anyway.
Oh, you want it in person, not a Discord call?
He doesn't want me in person.
I've only done that one with him. I think he's the best flat earther. He's literally number one.
Okay, anyway, going back to what I'm saying, there are 9 retroreflectors on the surface of the moon. If you shine a laser at the reflectors, you get a light back in 2.2 seconds. Before that, if you shine, but if you shine it at a place that's not a retroreflector, you get an attenuated signal. Why is it that in these certain places that happen to be the same places where we landed on the moon and where other space administrations landed stuff on the moon, supposedly, why is it that we get a signal back?
I don't know. It's a globe.
There we go. Good.
Because how the fuck is it a globe?
No, because it's plasma. Because
It's a globe. It has to be a globe. The laser bounce back.
because
Oh
it's
my
plasma.
God.
Because it's plasma.
That's what we gotta tell
Hey,
kids.
guys,
When kids are being
let me-
radicalized by Zherka,
let's-
show them the laser. Bring them.
Hey guys, you know what we should do instead? We should take all the lasers we shine against plasma and see how many times they fucking reflect. Dude, come on, man. It's not a plasma.
Well, you're going against
Here we
1960s
go.
physicists.
The next thing, there has to be, in order for me to, when the sun goes down, it's still over the plane of flat Earth, which means if I can't see it, that means there is a finite distance that light can travel. Every flat earther I've talked to, maybe what's it?
Why would it have to be over?
Because what do you mean it have to be over? It has
Why do you assume it? Why it can't lose its fucking look? Why would it have to be over?
because at some point during the day, there's a
You're
sun
saying it would
somewhere.
have to touch the ground?
No. Stop. Listen. What I'm saying is, at some point during the day, it's noon somewhere at every hour. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, actually, you know what's funny? I believe because I've seen, and I'm going to post the 24-hour sun. You don't believe in that.
No, I don't care about the 24-hour sun. That's just
That
North
just
Pole.
proves
That's
like
just-
acid
No, it
shade.
doesn't. It just
Everyone has to be in shade.
it's just at the North Pole. There's no way. There's no 24-hour sun in Australia.
But
there's no 24-hour sun in fucking Las
You're
Vegas.
saying that there's a part of Earth that doesn't experience a casted shadow.
No,
24 fucking hours. You're saying
for
it's
one day.
flat.
No, for one day it doesn't do that. In the winter-
24 revolution. Get there fast.
No, bro. In the winter, it's 24 hours of darkness. What does the fuck does that matter? It's exactly proves a round Earth point. In the winter, on the same day.
You don't get what I'm
of the
saying.
solstice.
Here.
And
here's the sun. This hand is the big sun.
Okay.
This part is the sun. Okay. This phone is the sun.
Uh-huh.
As it's spinning on its axis, you're 66.6 or 23, right?
23.5 degrees.
I'll show you the angle, bro. But look at this is the sun. This is the phone, the shiny sun, and this is the Earth. As it's on its axis spinning, one side is always in shade because it's facing away from the sun.
Yes.
So how the fuck can you have a 24-hour recorded sun that never drops under the horizon?
Ready? Here is the sun. Here is the Earth. It is tilted 23.5 degrees towards the sun. See my middle finger? I'm going to rotate it. It's always facing the sun. Thank you. Don't again. Appreciate it. That's the end of the story. That's it.
I've got a nice graphic of the
There you go. You can literally, there's the flat Earth thing, right?
What are you showing, Roll? You're making my argument.
That is-
It's not
the
my
flat Earth
side.
back.
That's exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly.
Stop.
Because it gets contract smaller towards and bigger.
Here's my point, though.
You made my point for me.
No. You're making my point. You're making my point for me. That means there's a finite distance that light travels.
There's a finite distance that light travels?
Yeah, it has to. Because why? How is it that the sun is over Antarctica later and we don't see it? Why is that? It's still over the plate.
Exactly. So your science got debunked.
No. I'm asking you. Why is there has to be a finite distance? So
You're actually the scientist of Jon Zherka? Let me figure this shit out.
There has to be. So let's go over a couple things. The dome has to be at least more than 4,000 miles up. It has to be because that's what they're
Sure, but now it's more. Now I've got a point.
That means that light can at least travel 4,000 miles. Is that correct or no?
Yeah, and you don't believe in the light traveling parallel.
But I don't doesn't matter.
Then your point doesn't matter. Your point doesn't matter.
No, your point.
No, your point doesn't matter.
Okay, light.
What kind of argument is that?
Light has a finite distance it can travel based on your model.
Based on your model, the light has to be shot parallel. It can't diverge. We see diverging.
It's diverging now. I never said it was parallel.
The sun is hitting the axis of the Earth.
Correct.
Parallel.
Because here's the thing. The sun, let's say you take this light right here. We have, let's say, 135 degrees of like different lines coming out at different rates. The sun is 93 million miles
You
away.
can see all the light rays. You can trace the sun. Or if you take a picture, and they go right into
Right. So how far? So how? What's the elevation?
The light rays.
Cool. You're making my point for me. What's the elevation of the sun then? What's the elevation of the sun?
Oh, because of that?
Yeah. What's the elevation of the sun? You should be able to triangulate the elevation of the sun.
Was it?
I'm giving you a point.
What was that? It's
3930, right? 3950.
That's what they said?
Yes.
I'll go.
Okay, so
I'll go that easy.
3950. So we all have to agree that light can at least travel 3,950 miles. It has to, or else how can it get down to the surface of the Earth? And a whole side of the Earth, or in your case, a whole inner circle or outer circle, has to see that light. So it's more than that. It's actually it's like 4,000 miles, and it's more than that. It's like 6, 7, 8, 9,000 miles. So what you're saying is there's a finite distance to light traveling. Is that correct?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so here's the problem. If the moon is up there and I'm shining lights over there and you agree that it comes back, that would determine a speed of light.
No.
Why would it not?
Why would it?
What if I go there if something's 50 miles away and I go there in an hour and I come back, then I'm going 100 miles an hour. Do you not see how that works?
I don't believe in the speed of light, neither do you.
I do believe in the speed of light.
Really?
Yes.
How do you test that?
Wow, here we go.
How do you test that?
Here we go.
How do you test that? How do you test the speed
There's
of light?
multiple ways to speed of light. The first way was actually looking at the moons of Jupiter. When we look
Wait,
at
do
the
you
moons
believe you can build, like, let's say, a plane that could do that one day?
no, you don't need a plane. You just use it.
Well, no, a spacecraft one day.
No,
Do you believe humans could build something that goes as fast?
No. Again, one more time. I'm not invoking space at all. You can actually take a laser and you can take a chronometer. You can put laser lights like miles apart and make them shine through mirrors. And you can take massive distances, have it come back to the same point, and you can measure the speed of light. Absolutely, you can. 299,000
The
kilometers per
fact
second.
that you scientists are so comfortable at capping it, this is the speed of light. You're comfortable.
No, but you
are
have
you
to.
comfortable saying that?
But you're comfortable saying there is.
We're comfortable saying we don't know. We're not going, bro.
There's a finite distance, which means if there's a finite distance, what happens when I go 50,000 feet in the air? What happens when I'm at 50,000 feet? That means if I should be able to see the light over Antarctica, but I can't because maybe I can't see Antarctica, but I should be able to see the light unless there's a finite distance. And because of that, it absolutely disproves the idea that the sun is over a plane 24 hours a day. It cannot be true, because you'd be able to see the sun on the other side of the planet, on the other side of the disk. Or you're saying that light has a finite travel.
The sun leaves your perspective.
But again, perspective.
That's like saying you can see trees.
Again, end of perspective means that there is a finite distance to which that light can travel. That's what end of perspective means.
Absolutely what I believe.
Correct. So that's
Absolutely what I believe.
You have to live by that. The idea that light has a finite, but you can't ever show. There's no scientific experiment you can show where light has a finite distance that it travels.
Oh, really? Really? Was it 90% of the science Kellogg's bought and convinced people faking it?
Conjecture. Look at it. Switch the subject. Go ahead.
Wait, the whole chat's going to be saying Zherka only gets cut off. You guys are going to be humiliated. Let me say one point.
And how do we see the stars if they're so far, right? They're further to the sun from us, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're making my point for me. There is no finite distance that light can travel. Therefore, your whole model breaks down.
If we see the stars and they're like thousands of miles away, and there would be no finite distance.
Of course, but he doesn't believe they're stars. He thinks they're luminaries, so that's not going to.
And we believe that they're fixed on the fucking dome.
Which of course is not true because of parallax, and see them move and then move back. So that's not true either.
Even if they're like, okay, they're not stars. What do you think they are?
He thinks they're points of light in a dome.
Carl Jung, the greatest mind of all time, said that there's a biblical aspect to the stars.
Okay, yeah, but I'm just asking, what are they then?
Since Tesla says we draw energy, cosmic energy from it, I could say one thing I know for certain: they're not burning balls of fart.
No, Carl Jung and Freud have not been proven by any psychological science.
Are you retarded? Freud, you're gonna go about. He's in Harvard. No, put him on the mic. Put him on it. Get on the mic. Get on the mic. Go. No, right. You're in Harvard. You're in Harvard. And I studied psychology. Who debunked? Yes. Tell me who debunked Freud? Who debunked Freud? Say the name. Say the name. Put yourself on camera. Humiliate yourself. Come here. No, put his face. No, put your face.
No, he's
Who debunked Freud? Who debunked Freud?
Stop.
Oh, that's it. Look at his backtrack.
Stop.
Look at his backtrack.
Stop. I signed up for this. He's a student.
Then what? You guys are farmers wanting to lose.
Stop.
And why are you protecting his sites? He started it.
No.
Don't protect him. Make him a man and bring him here.
No, because I don't want to get down in roles.
Sheol, yes. And hold on. You said on Google, Rollo. You said on Google that Google said that none of these ancient religions believed in pillars. Yeah, no. But that's how they explained it. The earlier you read that there are no pillars, ancient religions believed it's a globe. I debunked you on all three Abrahamic faiths. I could go to Egypt, Mayans, I could go anywhere. You have to admit you lost the pillars point.
What are you talking about? The pillars.
He said there was no
metaphor.
ancient religion.
It's a metaphor.
He said there's.
It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor.
Oh my God!
Okay, ready. Let's go back to
So wait, the water's coming from the fucking dome of the sky is a metaphor too? Is the whole Bible? Is the waters coming from above? The waters above a metaphor? When? Of course you have to.
That point, if you can show me where the pillars are in the stone.
Right here.
Where?
Right here. Here.
That looks like rocks, man.
Take it up with God.
Hilarious. All right, going back to the point. I want to make this point clear one more time. No, two things. Number one, if I'm bouncing that, guys, real quick.
The point Grego was making is that
listen. Number one, if I'm bouncing a light off the moon and the moon is 3950 away, and it takes, let's say 4,000, that means for it to come there and come back in 2.2 seconds, the moon is that means the speed of the light is about 4,000 miles a second.
Are you?
We all agree with that?
100%.
One more time.
Is that where you're capping it? 100%.
I'll do it for you. Ready? We'll do simple math.
I don't believe it. I don't believe humans have found the speed of light. No.
Here we go. In your model, the moon is 3950 up. If I shine a light to the moon and it comes back in 2.2 seconds, that means the speed of light is about 4,000 miles a second. Does that math make sense to anyone else, or is it confusing? No. Does it make sense to you?
Not at all.
Ready? Okay, ready. Real quick. And then I go into I'd use any sort of mirrors, any super collider, anything like that. I could show that the speed of light is 186,282 miles per second or 299,000 miles per second. That is completely disproving the distance to your moon. That's number one. Number two, when I go up to altitude, I should be able to see the sun at unimaginable distances unless light has a finite distance that it can travel, which there is no science. There's nothing to prove that light has a finite distance that it can travel. But the light has to be able to travel at least far enough to get to the ground from 3950. So you put yourself in this bind where light has to travel far enough to illuminate this side of my disk, but it doesn't travel far enough to illuminate the other side. That makes no fucking sense. That makes no fucking sense. And you use these rays in order to triangulate the altitude. But again, what would happen? Here's the last one. Ready? The moon. Is it at least a plasma sphere? Is it a sphere or is it a two-dimensional object? What is it?
Well, that's the thing, because we don't see the other side of it.
That's fine. I agree with you. We don't see the other side of it. Is it a sphere? No, it's a dark side. It's tidally locked. Is it a sphere? Is it a sphere or is it a circle?
Have you seen NASA's .gov? They post.
Don't care.
They posted the dark side of the moon, and it's such a bad computer animated.
Is it a sphere or is it a circle?
They say it's like a spotlight, right?
So you think it's a project? So this is what Jerry,
they say
this is what Jerry told me. It's a projection on the dome. No, I'm asking you.
You think it's a rock?
Doesn't matter what I think.
There's a footprint on it.
What I'm asking you one more time: is it a sphere or is it a circle?
I would say
it's a projection circle.
I would do a circle. Yeah.
Okay, cool. If it is a circle and it is on a dome,
although it does look very orb-like.
Okay, cool. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to give a sphere example.
But to be all the way honest, sphere or circle.
Okay, cool. Here we go. We'll give an answer for both.
But you should do.
We'll do
circle.
We'll do circle.
I'm more interested in.
We'll do circle, sphere, and we'll do a projection. Ready? So if it's a projection or a circle, what would happen? If there was a circle on the roof of this building right now, and I was directly under it, I would see a circle. If I was in that side of the room, I would see it would oblate, meaning the top and bottom would squish together. And if I was on this side, I would see the same thing. We do not see that. From every point on Earth, we see the sun
but how does
as
the
a circle,
how?
and we see the same side of it, which leads to my second point. If the moon is a sphere and it's 3950 up on the southern pole, I should see something 45 degrees different than when I see from the North Pole. But I see the same side of the moon in every single place. I see the same side.
How does a full moon perfectly fill up, illuminate from side to side if it's reflecting?
What do you mean? Why? Because it's facing the sun. The sun's bright.
No, it's a little more than that. If you shine a light on a basketball, does the whole basketball illuminate, or is there a spotlight?
If you get far enough back and you have a big enough light, so let's say I have like one of those lights at a stadium and I shined it on a basketball, it would illuminate the whole thing.
Side to side, even.
Again, also the other thing about a basketball is a basketball is made of leather, which is reflective. The moon is not. The moon is actually dark. One more time.
Explain like the phases of the moon.
No, we'll get to that in a second. But to go back to the same thing, I want to make sure I illustrate this point very clearly. If the moon is a circle, then the circle should squish when I'm in the near the North Pole or the Southern Pole.
The sun, when you were saying the sun,
it was sticking to
the sun has a spotlight, and you see it under the clouds. You've seen that hot spot.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it depends on your perspective, like where it goes.
Does it have a local? Why does the sun locally?
Because
No. Why does sunlight and moonlight locally illuminate only the clouds around it?
What do you mean? Because
why only the clouds around the moon are illuminated by the moonlight?
Because that's where you are. Because that's where you
Oh
are.
my God, that's cold. You know that.
If it's a sphere, if I take a light bulb, the light bulb illuminates in 360
Do you
degrees.
believe that for the sun's
Hold on. Do you believe if I took a light bulb that it would illuminate in 360 degrees?
Sure.
So again, it is what you say, man, I looked at that light and the light's right here. He's going to stand over here and he's going to see the light in a different position. He's going to stand over here and see the light in a different position. What you're saying doesn't prove anything.
That's gay.
What I'm saying so totally debunks your moon theory.
Wait. The hot spot of the sun?
Dude, I don't
You're going to say the hot spot?
Again,
I'm going to post the clip.
There we go.
I'm going to post the clip of the hot spot.
Peanuts. One more time.
Oh, yeah?
The whole thing. When I
The
look,
sun having a hot shadow is a peanut.
one more
A
time.
shadow on the surface of the cloud.
One more time. Well, let's do this one more time.
It's a local.
If I look at the fucking moon, if the moon is 3950, well, forget it. Let's say it's 40,000 feet. I don't really give a shit what you want to say it is. If it is, what I should see is if I'm in the outer ring and flat Earth, and I'm on the inner ring, I should see two different sides of the moon. If it is a sphere. If it is a circle, it should compress top to bottom and squish. And I see neither.
No, I don't give a fuck. I want to do what you
Red, cool.
I don't give a fuck.
I'm just doing it for your audience. I'm not here to debate you. I'm here to teach. So here's the thing.
Well, you're an astrophysicist for a bouncer to lose.
One more time. I was a bouncer too. One more time.
No, you should have stayed. You'd have been a flat earther.
One more time. I got hit in the head hard enough. I'm not going to flat earth. One more time. I just want to point this out. The moon, the reason why we see the same face of the moon all the time is because it is tidally locked and is 238,900 miles away. That fits with the model of what we see empirically. What he's talking about, either it being a circle or it being a sphere, does not fit if you look at it from different perspectives in different parts of the Earth. That also disproves. Those are the three major disprovements, not using NASA at all. Number one, seeing the Southern Cross in three different points in the Southern Hemisphere while facing south. I see it in the same direction, and I can see the entire celestial sphere rotating around a central point. Number two, flights in the Southern Hemisphere are 14 hours in one direction, 12 hours in the other direction.
Stay on flights. Stay here.
Yeah, for sure.
Stay here.
And then the third one is the moon, the one I just showed. The flights in the Southern Hemisphere. The answer that flat earthers have given is that there is some sort of weather pattern that pushes the flight at 1,000 miles per hour. We don't need $20,000.
Wait, how do you explain?
We don't need $20,000. We can charter a flight.
Is spinning, you would have to say this, but don't Coriolis me. You would have to say, if you're going towards the direction of the spin. No. If you're going towards the direction of the spin, you'll land at your destination much faster than if you're going against it.
No, because
why?
Because the atmosphere has the same angular momentum as the planet.
It's been used as a verb on this show.
Ready? One more time. Because you can use Coriolis if you want. I'm not even going to say Coriolis. No, one more time. The atmosphere of the Earth has the same angular momentum of the Earth.
I like
the way that flat earthers try to obfuscate the truth here is what they say is because the Earth is spinning, that something must be dragging, because they're ignoring physics. Something must be dragging the atmosphere behind it, but there's nothing dragging it because there's just vacuum up there. When the atmosphere was created,
What's the science, right?
when the atmosphere was created, the atmosphere was created with the same angular momentum as the Earth that the atmosphere came out of, and that's the reason why it never dragged behind.
Okay.
Now, one more time. These two planes.
I need more blow.
I may start taking blow after this.
One more time.
Apparently, we can take.
What are you on right now? It's not testosterone. You're on an amphetamine. I can't keep up, bro. I need a bathroom break.
We're taking blow at church. Let's do that.
Mike is doing the best out of anyone I've seen, but I gotta do the nuke.
Okay.
Coriolis me.
No,
That's actually
the nuke is every single, whether military or regular flight manual, talks about a non-rotating Earth, a flat Earth. Your flight manual says the Earth is flat. And to be an airplane pilot, your own fucking Bible says, the flight manual says, you must land the plane like it's not rotating. Do not account for curvature.
Cool.
Literally, to become who you are, Air Force, you have to sign on the dotted line of flat Earth, nigga.
Okay, here we go. I might have to blank up.
Ready? It's over. What are you gonna say?
So here we go. Now, let's go back to the original the original example I gave. Do you guys remember where I say we put a flat Earth on top of a sphere?
So it's a hypothetical. It's a hypothetical.
We're going to start with a hypothetical, and then we're going to extrapolate back to reality.
So when it says on a flight manual, just land the fucking plane, bro.
Yeah.
Don't think of motion or curvature. Just land the plane.
Correct.
That's a hypothetical.
One more time.
One more time.
So we're going to use two examples. Number one is if we have a sphere that is big enough, we would not be able to distinguish it from a flat plane. Number one, and number two,
you assume it's flat. Landing it every time.
We'll get to that. Number two, what happens is when we look at the 8 inches per mile squared, it breaks down at 60 miles. That's where it breaks down. When you do an emergency landing, is it usually more or less than 60 miles? Do I do emergency landings in New York? Do I do them in France? No, I do them very close. In fact, that flight that came out of Teterboro, do you remember where they had the double bird strike? They landed within visual range.
You're landing on a gyroscope. You have a gyroscope, and you don't believe in flat Earth. You don't even know what a gyroscope is.
Yeah, of course I know what a gyroscope is.
Okay.
You need two of them in the airplane. Ready? Here we go.
Bro, you literally have, what's the one that the land and the sky? You literally.
It's an altimeter. No, that's not an altimeter. That's I forgot.
I landed thing in like New Jersey or the river.
Yeah, so he uses visual flight reference. Okay, so now here's the point. If I was going to try to make a paper plane to hit John right here, I don't need to take it. Let's just say round Earth is real. I don't need to take curvature of the Earth or Coriolis effect into account. I would just say, oh, he's right there, and I would throw it. If John were further back, I would pitch it up and I would put a little bit more calculation. If John were moving from right to left, I might lead him. The calculations get more complicated as there are more variables. During an emergency landing situation, what you do, because I have several emergency landing situations in a Cessna and a Piper Warrior, Cessna 172 and a
Man, we were unlucky several times.
There we go.
Kidding. Not God bless him and his family.
No. They're simulated.
They're simulated. You haven't been in a
So the co-pilot.
I was making a joke of you dying.
What the co-pilot? That's hilarious. Yeah. The co-pilot just pulls the.
Is that Mohammed Atta?
What do you mean?
Is that the co-pilot?
That's good. That's a good one.
Yeah. That's a one-way flight to New York.
Yeah, it's a one-way flight. You have to-
That's the only flight where the Earth's shape don't matter.
So anyway, going back to oh, that's hilarious. Going back to what we were saying before. In these short distances, just like I said, where I'm throwing a plane across,
You're saying it gets more complicated.
Yeah, it gets more complicated. So let's go back to your thing. Specifically, what it says in a flight manual is it says you're to assume that the aircraft is rigid, that the mass stays the same, and that it stays symmetrical.
Now say it simply to roll over his mind.
Here we go.
How many planes have you landed in your life?
How many landings do I have? Probably 200. How many planes have I landed? 2. Well, they're different versions of the Cessna 172 and a Piper Warrior.
But Rolo, listen to what he's explaining to you. He's explaining
How I navigated for KC 135.
He's saying to you to be an airplane pilot.
No, that's not what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm not tripping you up. He's saying that he has to assume. It says on his scripture, it literally says to be an airplane pilot, he has to assume the Earth is non-rotating to land it. He has to.
There we go. Ready. Here we go.
The role-blooded being Zherka to land it.
We just get him to be quiet for a little bit. Going back to the same thing. Ready?
CGI plane getting a building in the background. So doesn't it look like 9/11? So look in the background. That's September 11th. Look on the screen.
Going back to this.
CGI plane.
When I'm throwing the paper plane, I don't need that much information in the model. When he starts talking about what he's talking about, first off, that the mass stays the same. What happens when you burn fuel in an aircraft? The mass decreases. What happens when you burn fuel from one tank or the other? Is it still symmetrical? No. They remove variables from the model because when you're flying an airplane, you don't need those models.
So why do they add our variables? Why does it say the word?
Hold on. Ready? Here we go. When you fly over long distances and you map those out like I did, you use great circle routes. They actually do work. But if you were to take a globe and take the great circle route and then pitch your gain in latitude, you would see the great circle route and it would look like a straight line. When you look at a great circle route from directly over it, it looks like a straight line. But that is for long distances. For short distances, as we said before, inside of 60 miles, and as we proved before, and I'll put this in the chat, I'll put this in the description, after 60 miles, the 8 inches per mile squared breaks down. When we do that, we don't need that excess information. I'll give you another example, because I know you don't believe in the strong nuclear force. If we were to look at the formula for physics, for nuclear fusion, do you account gravity in there? What do you think?
Yes, I would think.
No, you don't, Rolo.
You don't account gravity because it's so negligible on atomic particles that we don't account for gravity, even though gravity has a place to do with it. Does that make sense? When we land and take off a plane, or when we drive a car, or when we're driving short distances, we don't have to allow for the curvature of the Earth. And I'll make it even.
And even the balloon. We don't account for gravity on a weather balloon.
I'll make it even more simple. When I'm flying the Cessna 172, especially when you go through flight school, you're not allowed to have a computer. We teach our pilots the most basic way to do it, using VFR, using instruments. You're not allowed to use a GPS when you first start flying. On my leg goes, I'm not allowed to carry what's it called, an iPad during flight training initially. Maybe they do it now, but when I did, they didn't. On my left leg is going to be a map that is folded up, and it's got 2 plastic things over the top and the bottom, and this is the map of my entire route, and the emergency airfields are annotated before I take off. But that's my job to do so. That's an FAA regulation. On my right leg is going to be my checklist. Okay, it's also going to be strapped to my leg. The checklist and the map are how many dimensions? 2. They're 2. In order for me to land the fucking airplane, they don't care about the curvature of the Earth. They care about landing the fucking airplane.
What about the motion?
That's the reason.
What about the motion? What about the motion? Why do you say it's not in motion?
Great question.
You have another code?
Because the atmosphere that I'm traveling in has the same angular velocity, angular momentum as the planet that it's rotating around.
So just say you don't need the Earth to be a globe, to be a pilot.
No.
Say it right now.
No. What
you literally don't even have to let it to fly globe.
To fly for beginning.
It's so ridiculous.
For beginning flight, you don't need to count curvature in. But when you go long distances, you absolutely do.
Which airplane pilots do account for curvature?
If you go long distances, all of them do. For long distances. For long distances.
Pilot, the guy the space flight for Virgin Atlantic
Yeah.
or Virgin Galactic.
Yeah. But the point is, that's the reason why. Now, there's another thing that you have to understand, and that is back when we first started writing these manuals, like let's just say before 1988, we did not have the computational ability in there to put a 3-dimensional model. again, the reason why we do now, and that's the reason why.
That's the reson why we use azimuth for equidistant flat Earth geocentric maps in every emergency airline. What's that called? The AI that lands it?
One more time.
What's that? Autopilot. Every autopilot is on our fucking map. Your Mercator is garbage.
Let me explain.
No one on Earth.
Here we go. Blah 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 blah. Here we go. One more time. When you have an emergency situation, let's say I were to lose 2 engines in a 2-engine aircraft, or let's say I were to lose the main engine in like a Cessna. What happens to the electrical system? I lose it. So in order for me to land, I need to use what's called visual flight references. Does that make sense? I might. So when I train for an emergency landing, would I train using a GPS? Would I train using the computer? Or would I train just using a flat map that's on my leg?
Okay, that's fine.
That's
fine, why. But
that is the reason why.
Answer why that flat Earth map that you guys use has an ice wall.
Because you're spreading out the fucking, it's an illusion. You're spreading out the fucking Antarctica. You're taking Antarctica, you're spreading it around.
I agree.
But
I agree. You change the shape of the whole continent.
Here's my question.
I agree. And that's the point. Why does
your flat Earth map have South America and Africa squished like this? Why does it have a squish?
Well, why does your Mercator have Africa small? Why does your Mercator have Africa small?
Why does it have it squished?
Why is Africa so small in the Mercator? It's a racist map.
Mercator? What are you talking about, Mercator?
The Mercator depicts Africa much smaller than it actually is.
So maps are racist?
Well, actually, look at the time of when the Mercator map was invented. That's not something to laugh at. You guys are embarrassing yourselves. And number 2, 99% of all maps are inaccurate. He won't admit that.
No, I agree with you.
You agree?
No, but the point is the model, this actually makes my point. The model that is described.
Even mine is inaccurate.
Stop, guys, listen.
But mine is way more than his.
The model.
Way better.
All model, no, I'm sorry. A flat, so you see, this is not a flat Earth map. This is the UN map.
That's what autopilot uses.
Yeah, okay.
It's so funny.
Going back to what I was saying before. What were we talking about? I got kicked for the first time. I lost my thought.
Yeah, you got nuked.
So when you take the flat Earth map and you look at it, it even squishes the edges like it does there, which would indicate you're looking down on a globe. It was
come on, that was a deflated globe. A deflated globe.
Yeah, but you're the one who's saying it's a deflated globe. Oh yeah, I remember my point.
That's the point. And he won't admit.
There we go.
Wait, you know, Mike Sartain,
you said that
you know so much of what you talk about, but you won't admit what you just said about Antarctica. You know what he said about Antarctica? He said, yeah, it's stretch out. But he won't admit how much larger that autopilot fucking map is with Antarctica. You want to admit how much larger is Antarctica than the autopilot? So how much bigger is Antarctica than the autopilot?
No, we don't fly to Antarctica. That's the reason why. We don't fly.
Oh my God!
We don't.
Excuse me. Antarctica, Mike. If Antarctica is distorted, why are you assuming nothing else was?
No, all of it's distorted. But all
that's the point. You distort the maps to make it real, so you can live the fucking plane.
But we don't distort the Earth because we need immediate information for VFR. Well, here's the problem.
But you made Antarctica 10 times bigger.
No, it's not 10 times bigger.
Well, how much? Is it 8? Is it 7?
The coastline is 75,000.
That's the point.
No,
for an emergency landing, you got to distort.
We don't emergency. Ready? Go name all the times we have emergency landings.
This is the best stuff ever done.
No, it's a disaster.
You just said it distorts 8 times. How many times? Is it 7 or 8?
No, one more time.
How many times does autopilot map?
The circle around Antarctica is about...
Yeah, it's called the Antarctic Circle, actually.
It's about 24,000 miles.
Yeah, it was called the Antarctic Circle. It's called it in 1900.
It's 24,000, and you can go around it. But it's impossible to go around on a flat Earth map, because on flat Earth maps, you take 25,000, you times that,
that's not the question.
And it's 75,000 miles.
The question's not about going around.
It's
going around the question. I want to know why you think an airplane autopilot can distort a continent 6-7 times larger, meaning all of them are distorted, and you're saying that's safe land. Are you kidding me?
And you said that your map is not perfect, right?
I said it's 90% better than yours to land a plane during an emergency.
Here we go. So now, here's the thing. Let's go back to the original point, which was the flight manual. In the flight manual, it describes a model. In this model, the mass of the airplane does not change. In this model, that we assume symmetry and we assume rigidity.
We're not talking about plane, we're talking about continent.
I'm pointing out the original point. The point is
What a cope,
the point is to create a usable model. And in this case, a usable model, because I don't have electricity and I have to look at a flat map on my leg, I'm going to use
the question
easiest thing is.
the question is not about it being flat. It's about distorting continents 8 times larger. That means every continent. You know how dangerous this sounds to fly?
Yeah, I understand your point. Okay, we don't use a map of the entire planet when we fly locally like that. We don't. It doesn't work like that.
I'm gonna post it on Twitter.
You have regional. So when you fly,
I'm gonna post this on Twitter.
When I fly,
Careful.
When I fly from Warner Robins, Georgia to Augusta, Georgia, and the heading 000, when I do that, when I fly, I have a regional map of that airspace.
Well, we're talking about New York
Okay, New York
to Germany.
to New York to Germany, you do account for the curvature.
That autopilot.
Accounts for curvature. 100% accounts for curvature. In fact, I can show you maps over and over again that account for curvature. I can show you the
When I drop all the stats, this is proof. This is proof. You can have a master's degree in psychology and lose a debate if you're not passionate about it. He's an astrophysicist, and he's in the.
When did I become an astrophysicist? Like,
What did you say? You're a physicist?
No, I have a minor in astronomy. I'm not an astrophysicist.
I swear, you said astrophysicist earlier, but now it's a minor. Yo, this is an Air Force pilot.
No, I'm a navigator. I'm an Air Force navigator.
This is proof you can fly a plane and think you're on a ball.
I have a question for you. Okay, so how does the flat Earth side of this whole debate? How do they account for like ships using the stars and sextants and everything else to navigate and to get from place to place?
Oh, I get into this one. They believe it's just. They believe, yeah, but they believe the dome is set. Like what? Yeah, they just believe. Yeah, believe it has a fixed dome.
And it's a fixed dome, right? And actually, if you go there, people Star Trails.
If they paid me enough, I could make their arguments better.
He can make 100. Sartain can make Sartain can make a bunch of money with flat Earth. The problem is, deep down, I don't mean to do this to you. If he came out as a flat earther or geocentrist, he would lose so much fucking credibility in everything he worked hard for. And they wouldn't even let him fly a plane. They'd go, what the fuck? He would never. Deep down, when he said to me, Zherka, it's the most buried thing in the algorithm. I couldn't find you in Witsit. You know what? That was admission of guilt. He knows it's the most banned. Deep down, he is
I agree that it's banned. I just don't agree that.
And would you say, if you were on a lie detector test, could you pass and say you're a glow?
Absolutely, yeah. No,
I doubt it.
Earthers explain lunar eclipses.
Wait, I was going to answer
Oh,
this part.
he said he doesn't have an explanation for it. He said earlier.
Rewind the tape. Hold on.
It's gone.
Rewind the tape. But check this out. Everything here, what just happened, this should not happen to an educated dude in a fucking...
No. It
should not be this hard to prove it to go. Could Rollo ever... And here, I didn't want to say it. I want to be a nice guy. I didn't think I'd win this hard. I didn't even prepare. I didn't ask you seen. I didn't prepare. Because the truth defends itself.
You haven't won.
Could Rollo... Hold on. Could Rollo prepare with triangle Earth theory and beat you? He could never beat you.
But you didn't.
He could never... Could anyone here prepare with you?
Okay, let's go back to the original.
I didn't make any points.
Let's go back to
Tell them I didn't make any points.
Right, guys, here's let's go back to the
Rollo
original.
could never defend
Let's go back to
it's not a cube.
Let's go back to the original Earth, the original point that we made at the very beginning.
He's the last one.
You ready? He's louder than me. He has
Oh my God!
this huge.
You guys fought versus 1 minute. His audience. Play the violin.
His audience, and he's better. Look, he's better looking than me.
Yeah, this is sympathy. This is sympathy.
Look how charismatic he is.
Oh my God!
He hasn't done any. He hasn't
4
won a
versus
single
1,
point.
and I ate them alive.
Ready? Well, look, you go last, and I'm going to respond.
This was abuse. This was verbal abuse.
What are your followers?
My final words is:
You what?
I know that this man. I know an intelligent.
The Earth is an oblate spheroid.
Everyone listening, I know this is an intelligent man, and I know deep down when he goes to bed at night, he knows how much money he would lose if he came out as a crazy flat earther, but he knows my arguments. He knows all my, meaning he's already a flat earther. He's just coping. And you know what's funny? I don't want you to lose money. I want you to just stay there.
Yeah, we got to make money because we're going to Antarctica.
Well, that's the thing.
We're going the galactic.
Rollo.
There's a cheap way to prove that the Earth is
on a lie detector. Check this out. On a lie detector test, Glenn, Rollo would be a globe guy. He'd be a globe tard, right?
Totally.
No way. You have so much doubt in you about
no
your
doubt
model.
whatsoever.
You don't have doubt?
Not slight. Because I flew missions out of...
I'll pay $1,000 for a lie detector tomorrow.
Look, when we do that... please.
Would you do a lie detector?
100%.
So you're going to go on lie detector and say you're 100% convinced I won't?
And I'll tell you why. Ready? Here's the reason why. Here's my closing argument. I, one time, flew from Hickam Air Force Base to Anderson Air Force Base in Guam. And we had to rescue a little girl. She was a baby, and she had some disorder that caused a massive amount of fluid in her stomach. So we had to actually fly at a low altitude because we couldn't change the cabin air pressure. We had to fly like at a regular cabin air pressure. In doing so, I mapped out the fastest way to get there. I looked at it on the globe, and I looked at it on the map, and the Great Circle route absolutely was the fastest way to get there. So I know absolutely, unequivocally, without any doubt whatsoever, that the Earth is round. Yes. I've proved it to myself several times. Okay, now, going back to the last...
I thought we're done. Can I have a cigarette and then do it?
No,
What do you have a cigarette?
Let me get my closing thoughts here one more time. Just the main things is the flight in the southern hemisphere. There was no answer for that. The way we see the moon from different aspects, there was no answer for that. The way you said that the moon or the light has a finite distance of travel, there was no answer for that. And the main one is the idea, that in the three different points...
Your answer was, I don't care.
The three different
All your answers are, I don't care.
The three different points in the southern hemisphere. By the way, I did not invoke NASA at all during this entire debate.
You ran for that. Oh, yeah.
I don't have
You
to.
said you saved that for the end.
Oh, we can do it.
Now we can do it.
I mean, we can. I just don't care. I mean,
Here, you're on your phone. Pull up one photo of a planet that's real. Let's go.
One more time.
We got all day.
The last one. One more time. From three different points in the southern hemisphere, when I look to the south, I see the same Southern Cross in all 3 points. You did not have an answer for any.
That was your only good one.
No, the flight one was a good one too. You gave up on that.
Yeah, after you admit you have to be a flat earther to even land it.
No, you don't have to be a flat earther.
You said your manual, flight manual.
What I said was, in an emergency landing, we have a map that's on our leg. The map is splashed. We train to land with a map because we lose electricity sometimes. If you lose hydraulics, or if you lose the engine, or if you lose electricity, you have to train for emergency landing.
You're gonna vaccinate me, bro. Wait, can I make one point? Do you disagree that when in the 80s, when they said eggs and bacon have fats in it, they'll make you fat, switch to cereal because Kellogg's bought the science, because 90% of science is fucking bought and paid for, like the vax shit? Are you telling me you guys believe all this science? Or what science is fake?
Wait, ready? So here's what I believe. 100% that was bullshit by lobbyists to try to get us to eat cereal and get us to eat milk. Of course you're correct.
But they say 90% of science is bullshit. Do you buy into that 90%?
No, I don't. And the reason why, going back to what I said before,
corporations don't rule.
But here's the thing: there can be a middle ground. If I go to the CPE building, for those of you at University of Texas at Austin, and I go up there, we shine a laser up to the moon, it comes back. That's something I saw for myself. When I was in Johannesburg, I saw the Southern Cross. That's something I saw for myself. These are things I've seen for myself.
Have you seen the curve for yourself?
No, because I haven't been to 260.